Well, that is the Ailing Cantina background, and welcome to session number 32. So, we are just making sure I have everything all linked in properly, and right people are associated where they're supposed to be. Except I did leave Ross off the list. Okay, so, while we're doing so, I'll get Mark to introduce his character.
Hi, my name's Jed. Done.
And we'll get Ross to introduce his character.
Just Jed. That's it. Nope, nothing special about Jed.
Nothing to see there, let's move along.
Yeah.
So,
That's right.
that brings us to Ross. Hello, Ross. Your microphone's off. We'll come back to Ross later.
Yep.
So we'll go to Kessler.
Alright. I am playing Keyfoge. She is the senior sector ranger. Previous bounty hunter of this Mandalorian group, the martial artist of the group. Made into the leader, and she has been doing her best since then to try to keep everybody on point and in line. Some things are harder than others, of course, but it is what it is. Yeah, we're still good.
It's still good.
And,
didn't realize how much.
That's okay.
So, that's me.
Yep. And with one captured Jedi under your belt already.
Yeah, so that's pretty exciting.
And your armor that way.
Yeah, that's how I got my armor that way. Very important because the armor is my family heritage, and that's what I'm very happy about, even though it didn't come from my family. It is the resemblance of armor. So.
Well, it's suiting the family tradition by beating a foe and getting a reward for it.
Yeah, so, like, I'm following family tradition, following orders, the way I like it.
Yeah, I don't have any video.
You don't have any video? Well, that's probably because I forgot to share the video, so I shall do so now.
There you go.
You also get music too. Okay, so we'll get Ross to introduce himself.
Yes, I play Khalid, the Enforcer, Assassin, and now Gadgeteer. I'm finally starting to go down the path of my family. Been grabbing as many instruction manuals as possible, so I'll be starting to working on the armour once I get able to make a standard suit. Then I'll probably eventually be able to be graduated towards Beskar and other fancy materials.
I'm sure it won't be too long before you're making more than you need.
Yeah.
And then at the table as well, we have Ariadna.
So I am Thane, True Striker, proud member of the Starwing Clan, Sector Ranger, the left hand of the senior Sector Ranger, Kayana.
Oh, yeah.
I am currently in charge of training some 10 odd recruits, but at the moment, due to, let's just say, other priorities, I'm asking, hoping that B1 will undertake their training.
I'm sure B1 and the Meow Meow virus will be plenty happy to look after things while David is away.
Yes.
In my current role of really no leadership skills, as a leader, I've decided that they would get their best education from B1 right now, because if they can survive B1, they could probably survive most things.
May I ask why there's an order for 10 shock collars?
A what?
There's an order has just popped up for 10 shock collars.
Oh, okay. That's B1's training system. It's his reward system.
You get shocked for good work.
You don't get shocked if you do good work.
No.
Anytime you're not doing good work.
What I'm thinking is I'm absolutely convinced that the premise is that if he shocks them to the point that they are no longer susceptible to respond to shocks, they will therefore withstand interrogation a lot longer. And they'll be much hardier out in the field because
because they'll be unconscious.
Well, once they start to learn not losing consciousness after being shocked, I'm pretty sure they'll actually turn into some pretty kick-ass recruits.
He got this idea of Piper because I'm sure their family was doing things like that.
I wouldn't credit Piper with that.
Well, remember Piper's family had babysit with modified B1 droids.
Piper had nothing to do with enslaving or no, she was it. She was
well, indirectly because B1 is Piper's nanny, and he's doing exactly what he would have been doing to Piper.
Well, I argue then that he didn't get it from Piper, that this is his current...
I'm just saying Piper's family.
Most likely from the Wookiee formerly known as Warren.
I would say no one tells B1 what to do, and this was always B1's idea, and I would suggest that if you were to suggest to B1 that this wasn't his idea, and that it came from someone else, you might find yourself wearing a shock collar.
I also think that this indicates that B1 doesn't have the best parenting skills because we saw how Piper turned out.
Yes.
Oh, hang on here.
Oh, come on, we defended you really well up until the end.
You did. Last comment just broke it.
Isn't it just so lucky that Piper's not around anymore and we'll get Jed instead?
Yeah,
There's no
All you feel is intense glare from Jed. That's all you feel.
Well, considering...
So Jed's paying attention.
Considering that Jed says there's nothing to know about Jed. I'm not even quite sure Jed's family at the moment.
So we are currently doing a Mandalorian storyline. We're in the third story arc, with the first story arc being we're bounty hunters.
Yeah.
Second story arc, no, we're going to try being sector rangers. Third story arc, we are actually sector rangers, and we're tasked with stopping unrest and.
Dale would like to go with her own personal story arc. Everyone thinks she's a sector ranger, but she is still, downright to her blood and her gene code, a Mandalorian, and therefore a member of the Starwing Clan, who is currently working as a sector ranger in order to support that family.
Sure.
Because that's the only way she's ever going to see things without going mad.
And you were... I can't remember where I was going with that.
Sorry.
Well, that's okay. I'm sure it was important.
It was important to Thea.
Okay.
Her family identity is pretty much everything right now.
Who wants to do the recap of last session?
I can.
Yep.
Stuff
That
happened.
sounds good.
Alright.
I think more detail than stuff happening would probably be good.
Yeah.
So, we found out about Solera. He's been accused / video proofed of blowing up a facility on Elrood from the previous day. He's a known terrorist. We try to find out as much information about him as possible. During this information gathering, we learned that he is likely targeting the 1-year memorial of Fabio's death.
Nice.
So there's going to be
Cremation.
cremation. Yes.
Okay, that doesn't make any sense because Fabio wasn't supporting the Empire; that he was supporting the world.
But he was also publicly shown in footage with Piper.
So again, it's Piper's fault.
Yep.
Yeah. Again, it's all back to Piper.
So that was
it's all her fault.
Sol Guerrero.
Sol Guerrero, yes.
Sol's a
You
person
really
in real
pick up the phonetics, don't you?
Yeah. So he's targeting this memorial. So we're like, all right, Fabio's car is supposed to be there. Likely, the best place to put a bomb is in Fabio's car. So we need to try to get that. So we got some contacts to it. Chandra Dell delivered the vehicle in parts and says this random mechanic said that they knew that they were looking for a mechanic to put together the car. So now our task is we are going to call this random mechanic and see if they can come by.
Okay.
I was going to make you a quick snap here, but I do that obvious wise.
Okay, so yes. So that pretty much covers what had happened. There was a false rumor of there being a hidden compartment on the vehicle, which if there had been a hidden compartment, it being in pieces meant it wasn't so hidden.
True.
Okay. With all the attacks that he's done,
Yep.
has any of them actually been subtle, or it's always been over the top?
There have been subtle that he's claimed, and there have been over the top, which he's claimed, and there have been completely non-related, which he's claimed.
Oh, important note as well. He is working with a certain Jed and Stumpy in order to get a certain Mandalorian family.
Yeah, you won't be telling me that because I've got a complete hatred of this guy.
So.
Considering he called using a rocket to take out a school bus collateral damage.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Because it's
and
happening between
that's
him and
against
the
my
top.
code altogether.
absolutely. So he definitely attacks innocents in order to achieve
Yeah.
his means.
He doesn't
Yeah.
consider the thing of he doesn't have the
Idea of
concern of
innocence.
innocence. Yes,
Yeah.
everyone's culpable unless they're fighting. As
Yeah.
far as he's concerned.
Unfortunately, that's also what the Imperials did to the other planet, which I really do not like, and I can't really do anything about that.
So yeah,
Say if they killed
I'm between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah, we really are, because like we need to stop him from blowing things up, but also we need him to help us with this particular family.
and you also believe that he's already left the system, if not the sector,
Exactly.
because he likes to show bad stuff happening without anyone actually having a chance to see it.
Would you like us to help?
Alright, thank you.
So, is his followers just as radical?
Yep. So his followers also have a habit of being suicide bombers.
Okay. So, this is one thing we're going to tell the recruits: do not approach.
Yep,
Do not approach at all.
don't be a hero.
If you see him, just leave, because any confrontation will actually cause in the deaths of many innocents.
Follow protocol.
And he's also likely to have explosives rigged that, if captured, he will detonate it on civilian targets if you don't let him go.
Yeah.
Quite likely to demonstrate one explosion to let you know he's got more. Before you even say, no, I'll let you go. It's like, click, boom.
Yep. So you've got a bomb villain that works for the rebellion.
No, he doesn't work for the rebellion, because at this stage the rebellion does not exist. Saul is recruiting all across the galaxy for his fight against tyranny.
So there are rebels, but there
But
are
the thing
no
is, he is
cohesive
tyranny as
rebellion.
well.
The rebellion has not actually been signed yet. It's about 5 years too early for it to get signed.
Yeah. Because you said we're in the Obi-Wan TV show time.
You are.
Okay, cool.
It's signed about, I think it's about 5 years before the Battle of Yavin, if not just before
Yeah.
it.
That
It's
was
in
one
that
thing
time
that
frame.
confused the crap out of me with Obi-Wan. You
Yeah.
know how in the was it Clones? Oh, which one was it? The Bad Boys or whatever the one.
The Bad Batch.
Bad Batch.
Mhm.
When they brought in the scanning to detect to see who you are,
Yep.
wouldn't Obi-Wan appear on that?
He would if they'd ever had a sample of him.
Okay.
The thing about Jedi, they didn't voluntarily give up samples. And no chain code had ever been done on him, so they wouldn't be able to just go, look, it's this person.
Yeah. because he couldn't really do the mind trick at the time because he disconnected himself from the Force.
So that is one of the reasons that they wouldn't just be able to say, scan, look, it's this person.
Mm.
So,
I was going to say, we got to mechanic now?
you call the mechanic?
So, yeah, well, does anybody want to volunteer for contacting the mechanic?
Someone with some
B1?
sort of mechanic skills?
B1 is visually instructing, says...
Installing shot collars.
And says that it's up to the meatbags to talk to the meatbags.
So the only other person we got really that's mechanical is eBay.
And now you have Khalid, who is
Oh, Khalid. Khalid.
trying to learn his family tradition.
Yep.
So, I mean, up to Khalid if he wants to make a call, or if he wants Kayana to do it.
Wouldn't Kayana, as our exalted leader, just ask him to?
I offer the opportunity to grow.
Oh, you're an equal opportunity leader.
Yes, I'm one of
Okay,
those
so
good managers.
who's
What's up with
supplying
that?
this mechanic and what?
So we're calling the random mechanic that offered to help rebuild the car. So you can contact him to get details and get him to come by.
So this random mechanic, have we done a background check on him?
No, because we don't know who it is.
You got a number.
We have a number, that's all we have. So we need to get more information because they're likely linked to Silverrat.
Well, okay, well, I'll give this person a call.
Okay. You get the person on the other line of the comm, and you can't understand a word he says. It sounds like he's mumbling a lot. But listening, none of the sounds actually sound like basic.
Okay. Benny, can you understand or what language this is?
Betty's not currently linked into your phone call, because you're currently at the airfield.
Yep.
Airport. Wait, what?
You're at the starport where you had, for the mining corporation, where you were busily trying to put together the car from Officer Fabio.
Okay. So, okay. Can I make a zoology or xenology to try to work out what language this is?
You can.
I'm just kidding.
You can. What is your abilities?
I've got one level of it, and I've got my intelligence is 2.
Okay, so it shouldn't be too hard to figure out.
Okay, not too bad.
Got a sneaking
that later.
suspicion it's probably going to be Celestian or whatever.
Okay, so with your one advantage,
Oh.
it's a bit rough. You're not quite sure what it is, but you could be right. With your suspicions, you're just not sure. Partly because it's over the comms and you can't see the person.
Okay.
It could be comm failure. It could be many different things.
Okay. Well, I'll pass this on to Kesley because she might actually know Celestian. Or I can't understand a word they're saying.
I don't know if I can speak in really basic.
Well, you could potentially speak multiple languages, but languages is not an easy thing to add to character sheets in Star Wars, which is one of those amusing things. You generally know languages of your party. So most of you will know Jawa now.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, I
Like,
guess.
it also depends on your background as well.
Yeah.
Because I know Huttese and that, but Celestian, I've never dealt with them, so I have no idea. Or it could be Hammerhead, or
Yeah. You can normally tell Ithorian by the fact that it's two voices at once.
Yeah.
oh, that's right.
Yeah, because it's the echoey.
No, he has two mouths.
Oh.
So the side of his neck is his mouth, and he can talk out of both of them at the same time. So he can give you stereo.
Yeah.
He can give you stereo communication.
Weird.
Yeah. I don't.
So I guess I'll take the comms from
Yep.
Carly and try to talk to them.
Okay, so now it sounds like someone is shouting, mumbling.
I'll just
Apparently, if they say it louder, they're sure you'll understand it.
Okay, so it's
I'll
German.
say I'm sorry. I'm having some comms disruption. If you are able to, can you please come to the airfield? We heard that you are a mechanic that is able to help with the car repair.
Hangs up at that point.
Yeah.
So you think they understood you?
Maybe. We'll see.
Well, they didn't yell at you again.
Oh goodness.
So if we
Is
see
B1
a short
has protocols
German
as well?
coming storming towards
Does.
us, that's probably the mechanic.
B1 has part of a protocol droid, but he doesn't have the language
That's
files.
the whole point of having the protocol droid. Okay. Whatever.
No, he edited that out so he can have combat skills.
Useless droid.
And he's
B1's
got,
not here. I can say that.
he does have part of a power droid, but not the power supplying part of the droid.
So what? Now and then you'll just say gonk.
You can say that sometimes, yes.
Oh goodness.
Unfortunately, power droids are also great for putting bombs in.
They are. But he doesn't have the bounty hunter bomb in his chest in case he's captured, because he's not actually a commercial model.
Yeah, we don't want the same incident that happened on the Mandalorian.
No.
So it does come with its drawbacks in that if he is captured, they can download his memory and everything he's witnessed and done on behalf of the group.
Not good.
I'm sure.
And also his illegal activities.
I'm sure that will be blamed on whoever is associated with him.
Yeah, but they got video footage of him murdering a disabled person.
Unfortunately, they do. Much like they had video footage of Piper murdering someone and then tossing them off a top of a building.
Oh goodness. That was fun. Good times. Good times.
That's old news.
Yeah, but Piper's dead.
That was Piper. We don't know a Piper. Who's she?
So you do see that there are stormtroopers walking around with wanted posters of
Okay.
Piper.
Yeah.
They're
Really?
they're
Yeah, the
basically-
Empire wants you. Oh, the Empire wants Piper.
They're checking around the ship for in case Piper snuck aboard the ship and was here for the wake.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the first year since he had parted us.
Yes. Is Jed with us in their armor?
Jed is with you in the armor.
Okay.
He did stare at Kayana earlier.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But they are checking those who are getting off the ship, not those who are already here.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, they don't need to check the sector rangers because you're.
We're at the sector rangers. So,
And Piper was never a sector ranger.
that is very true.
So what? Is Jed been got a little recruit tag on it or something like that? Or rookie?
I think my cat is just thrown up.
Oh.
I'll take care of it. There you go.
Yeah. Okay. So Jed has the symbol of bounty hunters on him.
Oh, okay.
So he has the bounty hunter guild.
Yep.
Is
Stuffy's offside.
Jed registered with the Bounty Hunter?
He's registered as property of the bounty hunters guild.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay. Right.
If you ask the question, Jed just nods.
Yeah. I don't know where he could have gotten corn from either.
I'll take care of it, sorry.
As I say, I'm still at the the office or the home at the moment because I'm just sitting back, just.
Oh, you're at the Starfield with them.
Yeah, you were
Am I?
over there.
Yes, we had mentioned that earlier. You had gone to it last session.
Why did I go to it? Because I said I wasn't going to go, wasn't I?
No, you weren't.
You had come across to because you were sure that there was a secret compartment on his vehicle until it came out in pieces. Because you were going there to look at the secret compartment.
Okay, I think I disagree with that one, but I'll leave that alone. I'll go with it now. So, because I thought I was just staying at the base because I was trying to get out of any sort of contact with the funeral at all. So, anyway, okay. I'll say
this
it.
isn't the
funeral.
last game, so we presume you're still with us. You just weren't attending.
You said you weren't attending the actual ceremony, but you were there when you wanted to be there when they unloaded the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I'll probably had something different in my mind, but that's okay. All good.
Okay.
All good, because I also watched the episode recently, so it is fairly accurate.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
So, since Jed's here, I can ask him a question if he recognises this Wookiee. I'll show the face of the cadaver that we were given.
Would I? Is it? It's not Stumpy. I don't know.
No, it's not Stumpy. We would know if it was Stumpy. No.
Was there any other of the Wookiees that I met that time, Martin?
Let's
No.
see if Piper has any recollection. I will give Piper a perception roll.
Perception, 2 perception, I think 2 in presence, I think.
You have... So, Piper...
2 perception.
perception
And 2 in cunning, so yeah. So I've got
So 2 yellow dice versus whether you actually paid attention or not. Because it has been over a year since you actually saw most of them.
yeah, okay.
Okay, so you actually ended up with a success and 4 threat. So your character does take 4 strain.
So it brings back bad memories then.
As you remember it being Stumpy's father.
Oh no!
So this Wookiee that I'll be in the picture of, is that a dead Wookiee, is it? Or
Yep, with the...
Yes, died mysteriously.
Okay, you see my hand goes from a flat hand to a fist all of a sudden, and trying to hold back emotion while I've got my helmet on, and then I put it back to a flat hand again. Now, I'll leave it up to you whether it's perception roll to notice that from any of the characters, but I'm going, no, never seen that person before. And I'm doing a deception thing on this one as well, Martin. So,
Sure.
I roll against.
You can roll against. So let's see, with his deception of...
I've got no deception skills, so...
I have 2
But,
in perception.
So he has 2 purple dice and you've got 2 in perception.
Yep.
2 ranks.
2 ranks.
And do you have any
cunning.
just 2 in cunning? Okay, so that's the dice pool.
Okay.
And I can probably say from him getting his extra stuff, he can add a black dice to the pool to make it fun.
Maybe a little bit more.
Okay, so apparently you take 1 strain trying to see through it, you see nothing.
Alright.
Do I do mine with theirs or separately?
You can choose to do yours separately.
Can I, I'll get you, I don't have my sheet.
I have it up here, which I can bring up and have a look at. You have perception of 1 with a cunning of 2, so...
Is Carly there as well?
Yeah,
Are you looking
I'll be
for-
observing what his reaction is.
Okay, so apparently you didn't notice anything either. You're too busy actually doing the job. And Ross. With our... Get that down to where I need it when I'll need to look it up. That should be our assassin there. And so you, with your perception of just 2 green,
I should have also one dice in perception. One yellow in perception.
Oh yeah, sorry I missed it. It was at the start.
And I'm being attacked by the meow virus.
So apparently you got no result as well. So absolutely no symbols left after they cancel each other out.
Yeah.
I just thought you'd find that amusing.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can actually fix the camera a little bit. Because I normally do this before the session, but I sometimes forget.
Oh.
So it makes it easier to
I
see when
yeah,
I can.
there we go.
This makes it just that little bit clearer.
That way you guys can see it too.
So yes, apparently after all that effort there, Mark, in the role playing to describe how you're showing emotion and then not actually showing it to anyone, no one noticed.
So good job.
I'm good with that. Sorry, give me a second. What's the cough? So I'm.
No one commented on it anyway. So yes, you've seen the picture. You don't know much about what's happened, but you do note that the body is frozen in the Sector 4's headquarters.
And also to note, the body was evidently died from slashes from a Mandalorian vibro sword.
Yep.
Mandalorian style vibro sword. And as far as I know, it wasn't me. But we know at least two other people who have those type of weapons.
Who else has those vibro swords in the group?
Adkia and Thrawn.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Piper's brother did as well.
Yep.
Oh yeah, Piper's brother as well. So 3 people that we know of.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I'm saying he died suspiciously. And the story that we got from the hospital does not make any sense.
What was the story? Just a matter of interest.
Oh, wasn't he basically fronted up, wasn't it?
What do you remember of the story?
Oh, damn. All I know was just weird.
From what I remember is that it was just a Wookiee cadaver. There's not much more of a story to that because it's a Wookiee.
They didn't find out who did the murder, or just
They didn't even list it.
Yeah, when I was starting to get investigated further, I basically got bumped around by red tape and that.
Because it wasn't considered a crime.
Okay.
Even though it's got evidence of somebody slicing the crap out of it.
It's the
I
equivalent.
believe it's because they class Wookiees as slaves, and beating up a slave is not classed as a crime.
Yeah, or it could be like
Is that what it is?
Very much so. It would be considered a misdemeanor, not an actual punishable crime.
It would be like, who ran over that kangaroo in the road? Don't care.
Or who shot the droid.
Yep.
I know this might be against certain things here, but could we have sort of some, like, this needs to be not disposed of irregularly, just...
Oh yeah, I know that, because Wookiees are so, they've got their own funeral rites and things like that.
Yeah,
so that's why I thought you might have known, or...
I might see if you are okay. If you guys are okay, I might be able to talk to Stumpy to see if he can...
Well, you also need to talk to B1.
This is B1's experiment.
Can I... sorry, what's B1's experiment?
Yeah,
The Wookiee cadaver.
Okay.
The only thing that we did get was, I think there was a message
It's frozen and stored
saying
at
that
the
the package had been
headquarters.
delivered.
I would say we leave it that way until we got a full group here, and then maybe decide if we want to investigate later on our own. I know, but if we at least leave it for now, for this game, we could look at investigating it later when B1's here, and he could do, say, a proper autopsy to maybe see if we can find out more about who and what killed them. So that would be my suggestion if it's possible.
Well, they did come up with it was killed by a Mandalorian vibro sword.
Okay.
And it was also used as cadaver practice.
Okay. I still think no harm can be done from storing him until.
There's no problem with storing it.
Yeah, well,
I was just answering your question
But
on the
I'm
investigation.
just suggesting that as a player, as characters, what you guys.
Oh, we're still at the
Side.
We're still at the airfield. This is us just talking to Jed at the airfield.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, Jed would like us to stir because I think I might be able to use Stumpy's resources to find a proper way of ceremonially passing grade with this one. So I'd like to talk to B1 when an opportunity, but I'll leave that till next fortnight, mate. But yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Would be a good
Yep.
idea.
But I know I'm in myself. I feel like I'm shitting myself. Going, oh god, if somebody finds out, we're all dead. But it's like, but it's more that I'm going. Mm-hmm.
No, I'm more worried that I think your brother's running around. Piper's brother's running around.
I'll be more worried about Stumpy finding out his father's dead than actually my brother running around right now. But that's fine. It's a perception thing on the whole thing. But as I said, no one knows but me, so I'm going to keep it like that. So.
There's a good chance that B1 knows.
Yeah, big one.
I'm sure B1 does know, and I'm sure B1 will use it to his opportunity to have a talk to me about it. I'm pretty sure. So, but I'll leave it to B1 to discuss that with me. So, back to you, Martin.
Okay. So yes, you hear the sound of a repulsor vehicle coming up the road. Most of the this area is locked down while you're at the airport, so it might be someone you know.
Well, I can't hear any doof doof or a loud muffler, so it's not the bloody Jawa.
Yeah, the Jawa doesn't actually need to be quiet. And plus, he does like to try to add bling to the outside of it.
So
Maybe we should have did a road, was it worthy inspection on it, and then basically it's unroadworthy. You can't bloody drive it.
Then he'd just get his cousin to get him a new roadworthy certificate for a completely different car and say it's this car now. You know, Jawas do that all the time. You got to impound it every day. Always.
Well, that's one way of his family members getting money out of him, since he's very stingy on it. So, actually, that's not a bad side thing. So, basically, we impound the car, he goes to his family members and pays them.
I'm sure he would love the idea of giving more money to his family.
Why are we impounding eBay?
Ross just wants to give more money to the Jawas. More taxpayers' money. You know, it leads the support that everyone's giving to eBay out into the rest of the Jawa community.
Yeah, because remember, he is a bit stingy on his... well, remember what he did to his cousin. He drained his money from the bank by doing, what was it, those crazy phone calls.
I'm not for or against this. I don't know Jawa culture well enough to know if eBay is actually doing something that the rest of the Jawas would admire him for. That said, you might know enough about the Jawa culture to know that by bleeding eBay dry in this way, you might gain more respect in their community.
Or become a target.
Mm?
Unite them all against him. You come back and find that your building's been dismantled.
Mm.
Oh, he could put me on the bounty hunters kind of list. You know, don't know. These things happen.
Yeah, at least I won't
Basically, I'll
be
leave the
pissing
fun
off
against
a galactic-wide terrorist.
Mm.
Okay, so as you're waiting, you see a swoop come up the road towards the field where you guys are standing. It's basically a tricked out floating bike.
Yep.
Designed where you straddle the engine and pray it doesn't run into something.
Okay.
Well, it doesn't have wheels, it's not touching the ground,
Who's
and...
riding this?
yeah, I guess we noticed.
I've got a feeling this is going to be it wasn't a Gungan on the phone, so it's not going to be that crazy taxi.
Gungans
He's on a different
actually...
planet.
Yeah, Gungans actually speak basic, so you're lucky about that. Not very...
Well,
We say you're a new mechanic.
So yes, as he's coming up, you can recognize it as a Sullustan from one of the nearby sectors.
What does
Okay,
this
so
look
we
like?
can speak to him, but we can't understand a word he speaks to us unless.
Let's see if I
I
can
think
put
Kesley's-
one. Yeah.
Unless he speaks Hadese, might try that.
He could do.
So you can see that picture there.
Ah, okay, thank you. Yeah, that
All
helps.
good.
Yeah, Lando's co-pilot in Return of the Jedi.
Yep.
Easier to see with a visual than to.
Yeah, visual helped a lot.
And so yes, he pulls up next to the sector rangers and seems to mumble towards you again.
I was just asking, did video watchers in general see that in case?
I saw
It did pop up one day, yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's why I picked that screen.
In basic, I'll speak to state. Do you speak Huttese?
He shakes his head and mumbles again at you.
Do we have translators that can?
It's called protocol droids.
Okay. We're at an airfield. Surely there's one around. Do I see any protocol droids around?
Not nearby because you did have the field cleared from other people who weren't supposed to be here.
Thank you. My apologies.
And it was basically a security thing where you didn't want anyone just randomly walking over, and that included droids because most people overlook droids and you've learnt not to.
Yeah.
Mandalorians, don't make that mistake a second time.
Well, since it was Chandra who was able to hear him on the phone or whatever, I'll call Chandra over and ask her if she can help translate.
She sighs and goes, yeah, it's one of those weird languages. He understands us perfectly fine, just like Wookiees.
Gotcha.
Can't speak his language if I tried.
Gotcha.
Just like Wookiees, she says.
Yeah.
And you hear some sort of chuckle from the Celestin.
From the guy. Okay. I'll just ask Chandra, can you tell us his name?
Says, she said, I think he said it was. What name would you like to give the Celestin?
Ooh, good
Because
question.
it'll be an ongoing name.
Vigarity.
Vigarity?
No, sorry.
For some reason, Ricky came
Yeah,
up in my
Ricky
head.
works.
Let's go with Ricky.
Yeah, Ricky.
Closest she can make out is his name is Ricky. He just shrugs at that. It's close enough, he says.
It's probably.
I can't pick up all the letters, you know.
Hard to say in basic.
Okay.
So we'll ask Sandra. I'll ask Sandra directly. Like, is this the person that you heard talking on the phone?
Yeah, I think so. Hard to tell because it was just audio.
The audio. I'll ask her to ask, I'll ask him and have her translate. So you told our associate that you can help with the cart. What experience do you have with Fabio?
He sort of mumbles at her for a little bit, and he goes, he has no experience with Fabio at all. He just heard that a car needed fixing.
Who I'll ask. Who did he hear this from?
He pulls out a data pad, and he's got a message saying, car needs mechanic. Apparently up on the wanted boards.
Can I'll ask him. Would you mind, as this is...
he hands it over to you.
Yeah. So, I'll take a look, looking at where the message is from and be able to trace back any sort of thing.
Having a look at it, someone's put Chandra Dell's number on there.
Yep.
And it originated about 3 or 4 days ago from Elrood City, which is where you are, and she wasn't on planet at the time.
So it looks like it came from her.
And the time it happened was before the car was disassembled.
This is
I
weird.
presume Chandra Dell would tell us if she'd asked one of her assistants to place this ad.
Well, she wouldn't have needed to because the car was in one piece at the time.
I presumed that was going to be the answer. I just figured with you I should check.
Mhm.
Never hurts to ask.
Okay, so was this email or whatever sent before the car was dismantled?
Yes, that's what I just said. It was placed 2 days before the car was dismantled.
I'll ask Chandra when she knew that the car was going to need to come to Elrood.
She got a request for it about a month ago.
Do you know who did the request come from?
She thought it came from the charity.
Okay.
She thought it was a great idea and would help, commemorate her husband's death.
I totally agree. So I'll ask her. Did she get a contact name from the charity, or was it just like a?
She digs through her messages.
Yeah.
And brings up the orphanage's actual message line.
Like their
So
info at.
It originated
Orphanage.
at the orphanage.
Yeah.
But then again, it's not too hard to send something that looks like it came from the orphanage.
Yeah.
It's not like they have lots of security.
Yeah, exactly. So, if we did a computers check, would we be able to tell if this was an actual message or if it's like a...
You could. So you decide to get B1 to help.
Yes, please.
Okay. Yep.
While Kesley's going through all the things there, I'm seeing what reaction is that Ricky's doing.
I would probably ask Carla to just do a general search of Ricky's repair tools and stuff before we...
I was more of, because you're questioning him and questioning of the person who's employed him and that. I'm just trying to see you getting nervous or anything like that.
He appears to be a bit bored. Just keeps looking at his chronometer on his arm.
Let me guess, he gets paid by the hour?
Either that or he might have other jobs to get to. Okay, so apparently your droid is quite good at finding out information. He managed to get one whole success and it looked like 4 advantages.
Oh, cool.
So the success was the important part. The 4 advantages means he just has fun doing it.
Sounds like it.
And he's able to do a bit of connecting the dots with his computer stuff. He says both the message for the ad for the mechanic and the request for the car came from the same device. And the device was connected to the orphanage.
So if we were to go to the orphanage, would we want to be able to identify the device? I don't quite know how.
He says, sure, just scan the device and he can tell you if it's that or not.
Okay.
He says, it's not that hard, even a meatbag like you can do it.
I'm more of the hitty, not the typey. Okay. I still think it's okay to go through with having him put the card together and all that stuff after we do a search of his items and all that. And then after the car is put together, doing another bomb tweak.
Okay, so Ross, you're having a search through his items?
Yeah.
Okay, looking through them. Any number of the tools in there could literally make bombs, but then any mechanic worth his salt could make bombs out of just about anything.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. But there's nothing saying, C4 or anything like that. Though he's got no explosives.
There's no military or commercial grade explosives amongst his kit. But the vehicle itself is an explosive if tweaked the right way.
Yeah.
Because, like in every movie, as soon as a car hits a wall, Because that's totally how cars work.
Or they flip before they hit the car that look like they're hitting.
Yeah, I like how in movies, car flips and explodes at the same time. Because that's, again, how cars totally work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the car doesn't have an engine in it.
Yep.
The really, really sad thing is that people in the real world think that that's going to happen.
Right.
So when there's an accident and there's a car on its side, you get all these bystanders trying to help
Yeah.
by telling everyone to stay away from the car because it might explode, and moving people with potential neck and spinal injuries that should not be moved
Yep.
because they're perfectly safe because they're under this notion that
it's
the
gonna
car's going to explode.
Yep.
And
It's just
Yeah.
like, stop doing
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
And if you're a first aid person or
Yep.
even a nurse, they will argue with you to the point of almost getting violent.
They know better.
Yeah, it's just scary.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
We did have someone try to flag us down recently because they stood in the road without any
They
indication
ran
that something
into the
was
middle
wrong
of the road,
and started waving. It's like, not
Before-
going to slow down for a random waving person.
and then they yelled swear word at us. I clocked the accident, saw that I had a clear way path,
Yeah.
made the connection while this guy's swearing at me that if an ambulance comes, they don't want my car stopped in the middle of the accident scene,
Yeah.
and it was safe to drive past it.
Yeah, all around.
So
yeah.
I drove past it. There were already 3 other cars stopped rendering aid. They didn't need me,
Yeah.
so I left the area.
Exactly. Oh my god.
But yeah,
Yep.
Martin. What did they say? Something horrible.
They just swore.
Doesn't matter.
It was stupid person thinking they were entitled to tell everyone else how to act,
Of course.
which wasn't safe.
Mm.
And we're used to the safety of doing things right. So yes, he seems to have a
Sorry.
full mechanics toolkit, which is custom welded to the side of his swoop.
Can we get?
So he has problems with Jawas.
Can we get like an official ID from him that we could run a background check from? Like, I know we can't understand him. We're calling him Ricky, but surely this guy has some sort of ID.
Yep, he pulls out his Celestin ID for you,
Okay, can we use
and
that?
it has
Can you
a
read slush?
has a lot of weird squiggles and symbols all over it.
Do you need to? Can't you just scan it with your data pad and then we're surely as rangers we've got software and tools that
We've
can
got-
do background checks
Called
on.
B1.
Pardon?
It's called B1.
I'm fairly sure, just as rangers ourselves, we remember
We
B1.
probably, no, we probably do have a data pad.
Yeah.
No, I'm just joking.
Can even if it's Carla doing this, or can someone just use what would I consider a part of the sector rangers standard toolkit for IDing people?
Just send the information to Betty.
Yeah, send it to Betty or just get a check.
So do you have a data pad?
Yeah, I
I-
do.
Then you can pull out your data pad and do the equivalent of
I'll-
take a picture with
Can I
it.
say, if you don't, I have a
Because
data
I
pad.
showed Jed the face of the cadaver.
That is true.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
Because if Betty just says, yeah, look, he checks out as a mechanic, then let's just let him do this job and keep track of it.
Okay, so Betty reports back. She's put in a request to the Celestin
Good.
planet for confirmation of his ID.
Yep.
Though he doesn't appear to have an Imperial ID, so she's trying to cross-check.
Okay.
But she'll find out when she gets confirmation back from Celestin, which could take a couple of days.
Okay.
Okay, that's fine.
But she has logged the request.
So I gather this guy expects to be paid for this job?
He nods yes.
Okay. How much does the ad, or how much is he expecting to get for the job?
The ad says 100 credits an hour.
Okay, alright. How long does he think it'll take to do the job?
He
He
punches.
hasn't seen the pieces yet.
Okay, alright.
He shrugs.
I gather, look, if it looks reasonable, maybe get some sort of gene code or something like that from him so we can track him down if it turns out to be a mistake, but let him put the car together.
Well, you also have members of the cadets as well as
Oh, okay.
the droid putting the car together.
Oh, well, in that case, we don't need him, do we?
Um,
We're just checking him out because he turned up, right?
We don't necessarily.
You got information you didn't have earlier now that he turned up.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I mean, what we could do, we could say that looks like if we have B1 and the cadets putting the car back together, it would be less risky for us to put it together ourselves. So we could say, thank you for coming by. We'll give you 100 credits for your trouble. I'll pay him 100 credits.
Yeah.
We'll give you 100 credits for your trouble for coming out, but your services won't be required.
Yeah. And if we need to track him down, hopefully we can. But at this stage it sounds or seems like he's an innocent party. Whoever placed the ad might be something entirely different, but for now. Unless he's proffering some other reason to stay.
Because as far as we know, only the supposed message from Chandra was false.
Yeah.
The one from the orphanage to Chandra asking for the car
Seems
could
legit.
still be legit, but the other one,
But it came from the same address as
it
the
came
person
from the
who
same
did
address. So it's one of those things where like both could be false, one could be false. Impossible to tell until we go there and check it out.
We're not exactly the type to hold poor innocent Celestin for answering an ad. We do want to track him down if it turns out later that something more is up.
He enters in. He shows his data pad that he's got a address in the poorer part of town.
Okay. Yeah. Well, provided his ID checks out, we might use him for other things in the future.
Khaled knows the place well. It's one of the chop shops out the back in the area you're helping with vigilantism in.
Okay, so it's near the Jawa exchange.
Yeah. Jawas are known to frequent the area and provide things that need assistance to the chop shop.
Yeah.
So he seems like he's just a normal.
Yeah, I think he's one of the eBayers mates, aren't you?
He shrugs. You sort of get the idea that he thinks everyone's eBayers mate.
Do I personally, do I get any kind of impression from him? Do I need to roll for that?
Looking at him, he just seems like this is just a daily occurrence, that he shows up, gets paid, and gets sent on his way because, well, the Empire doesn't generally pay non-humans to do work.
Okay.
So he's just thinking more racial bigotry as he gets back on his...
Before he leaves, I let him know that if his ID and everything checks out, I will be in contact with him for other work.
He does a passable salute to you.
And I'll give him my ID or whatever it is, so that if he wants to get in contact with me, he can. So I'm going to write that down. I'll chase it up later.
And then you hear the sound of his speeder zooming off.
Okay.
A lot louder than eBay's car.
Which ABS car's already loud.
Colour me impressed.
Well, swoops don't use exhaust because that slows it down.
Right.
No mufflers or anything like that. It's just pure engine.
That's funny.
Okay.
So
what are we up
yeah,
to
we'll
now?
let B1 and the cadets.
B1 reports will probably take him 2-3 days to get it back together.
Which is before the auctions.
Well, they can do it. That's alright. Alright.
Would it be any quicker if he doesn't zap the cadets?
I don't think
He wants to get it done correctly, so that's his method of getting it done correctly.
He did say it was also a training exercise.
I have a feeling that were you to bring this up with B1 at all, it might take longer. So, you know, I just let B1.
He's like, do you
what
want
he
to take 4
does."
days?
Or do you want to join them? Click.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess we'll leave B1 and the cadets here, and I think the rest of us should go to the orphanage to start scoping that out and doing investigation.
Do we all need to head to the orphanage?
I think we should.
Okay. Awesome.
Okay.
We even have Jed, our consultant.
Yep.
Okay, so
Well,
Isn't it Jed our new recruit?
well, Jed, our consultant's property.
yes.
Yeah.
If Jed is willing to go to an orphanage that is setting up from a memorial for Fabio. So what do you think?
I think probably good to keep Jed close, but again, up to Jed.
Jed doesn't want to be anywhere near the funeral, anything to do with the funeral if I can be at all.
It's not the funeral.
It's
line.
days beforehand.
Yeah.
Is that okay? But if I feel there's any danger, I'm coming back. I'm just pointing out to you.
Well, it's back in the city, so that makes sense. That's fine.
Okay, so you jump in your sector vehicle and zoom off into the city. Passing through a couple of checkpoints, you pull yourself up in front of the orphanage. Not too hard to find, as they put up a sign calling it Fabio's Orphanage for the memorial.
Just a couple of things. Is Jed spelled J-E-B or J-E-D?
I've got G. I got D down.
D?
D, yes.
He isn't
D.
dog.
D. Yep.
Yeah. So just
Carlin,
needs to get an eye, and then he'll be hunted by the Empire again.
Oh,
So
that'll
Carlin
happen soon,
is
Gross. Don't
Yeah.
worry.
Yeah.
It's okay.
So the four of you are together,
Yeah, I'm just writing down who's heading to the things.
and it has been called Fabio's Orphanage for the moment. They have rededicated it based on.
Maybe rededicated permanently as. But
Well, they got
also
to sign up
Fabio-
there because he
Maybe-
was one of their biggest sponsors.
What did we say Fabio's last name was? I forget.
We
It
do
was such
have
a
it
long
here.
time ago. I have it written down somewhere.
Yeah.
But it was. I know it was something pretty funny.
Yeah, I don't think it was. I don't believe it's butter.
I think it's Fabio Hercules, but anyway.
Yeah, that's right.
Is that it?
There is a possibility I had it online, but that's not.
Yeah, I think
Always
you did
going
write
to
it
be.
down because Carla spent a destiny point to find out what the name was.
You did, but I'm not sure I moved that up. So you'll have to figure out where that was said.
I guarantee it's in my notes somewhere. I will
Yeah.
find it.
Yeah, I only have Officer Fabio at the moment. I haven't updated from the session where you actually did so. Okay, so yes, it is dedicated. There's a nice picture of Officer Fabio with his car as part of the sign.
Because that definitely helps orphans.
And he was their biggest sponsor.
Yep.
He used to donate a big chunk of his racing money to the orphanage. Though there were rumours that a lot of the orphans were his, but that was only rumours.
Oh goodness, that's terrible.
I'm not. Parker's not here, so Jed can't comment. So.
Oh, goodness.
And it's a PG, and I can't go any further with that, man.
And he did refer to them as his children multiple times.
You're making it hard, Martin. You're making it hard for the whole situation.
It's
Anyway.
so funny.
Hey, it's
Okay.
true to the character.
It's true, very true.
So yes, they have spaces out in the front where they seem to be setting up for stalls. They have a pest cleaner going around spraying places to try to reduce the number of pests by the time people actually show up.
Okay.
So we all got out of the car by now, as I assume, Martin? Or
Yep.
Just arrived.
I believe you could have gotten out of the car at some point looking at this fabulous sign of Fabio and his favourite car.
Julius.
Mhm.
His name is Fabio Julius.
Fabio Julius, that's what it
Yeah.
was. So this is Fabio Julius's orphanage. For
The
Is there a
Julius
person?
orphanage, I would propose.
Is there a person in charge here at all, Matt? Like an orphanage, like head of orphanage, somebody I can talk to about how I can help.
Yes, there is a matronly woman standing in the doorway, looking in your direction inquisitively because a police vehicle showing up in front of the orphanage is not suspicious at all.
I'll walk over and just say, "Excuse me, ma'am. I'm here to help her with it any way possible. On behalf of the sector rangers, is there any way I can help out with any sort of
She hands you a
general
broom.
What was that?
She hands you a broom.
Where would you like me to start?
She says there's floor inside. Pick a surface that's dirty and start there.
Okay, I go and do it. Off I go.
Should have given him a scrub and brush.
Well, they do that after they sweep. Then they scrub.
Just being
Then they paint.
wax on, wax off.
Wait until she gets you to start mopping everything. It's a hard life. Okay, so I'll go up to her. I'll introduce myself as Kayana.
Are you here to sweep as well?
I introduce myself as Sector Ranger, and then I'm here to help prepare for the event.
Didn't you just send the guy in to sweep?
Yeah, he's with us. He is here to help set up for the event. I'm here to help run security for the event.
Do we really need security? It's just a charity thing.
It's a great charity thing, and I want to make sure it goes off without a bang.
Sure, that sounds
Literally?
fantastic, she said.
Yeah.
Not picking up the subtlety.
Yeah. I mostly just mentioned her that there have been some reports of maybe some disruptions that may happen during the event. I want to make sure that your event goes on without.
She'd been warned that some Piper chick may show up thinking she's the bee's knees. Heard that she's wanted for murder.
For murder.
Well,
Yeah.
I had
Please don't matter
she
distance.
pulls out a
The water.
Piper wants you with someone's written all over it
She only knows
for
yeah.
500 credits
Yeah.
for murder.
Yeah.
And she says an Imperial officer came round this morning handing out these.
Which Imperial office? Just as a curiosity.
He didn't say what his name was, but he wears mainly black.
Okay. Well, they all wear mainly black, but that.
Oh no, most of the military ones wear greens or blues.
Oh, okay. So we're talking mainly back is it
Security
or
Yeah.
Imperial ISB, Imperial Special
Imperial Security Branch.
Security
ISB.
Branch, ISB. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's interesting.
So yeah, I just say to her that she definitely heard rumors about her. So I believe that she won't be a problem during this event. But again, this is standard protocol for major events. I would love to come take a look around, look for any security.
Well, you had the security consultant show up yesterday, delivering all the security droids.
Nice that they didn't tell us about that.
Yeah, so that I'll explain. Well, that's part of the Imperial Force. That's part of the military force.
Really, I didn't think they used droids a lot, so I was a bit surprised.
Yeah, but
Do you guys
it's one of those.
Can we
being
see
told
these
at this
droids?
point.
Right.
So I'm just gonna say to her, as part of Sector Ranger, since I operate slightly separate from the military, love to come in just to take a look at some of the droids and make sure that we had all the ones that were meant for this event are delivered correctly.
Well, the only droids here were delivered by your security person.
Perfect. May I take a look at them?
Sure. Oh, if you can find them, I don't know where they are around the place. They disappeared pretty soon after they got delivered.
While you're doing all this, can I start having a look on my data pad and talk to Betty about all this Imperial interest in this orphanage and whether that's official?
Okay, so while that's happening, you contact Betty, and Betty goes, so you want to know if any of this is official? So I am checking through files now.
Yep.
We do have on record that there is an Imperial ISB agent assigned to Piper's case.
What's the name?
It hasn't got a name.
Okay.
They've redacted the name. I don't have clearance.
Okay. Can you apply for clearance for me and put my contact in place, please?
If I don't have clearance, I can't get you clearance.
Okay. Can you give me a number for ISB so I can talk to them? directly?
Sure. Unfortunately, it's leave a message and hope they get back.
Yep, I'll do
But
that.
they normally ignore me completely.
Yeah, well, I'll leave a message and see if they get back to me.
Okay.
But that's it. That's all you can find is that it is a case that has been assigned to ISB.
No, Piper has been assigned to ISB.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Oh, so just in case I missed it, was it the ISB agent that was here earlier is separate from the
Droids, yes.
Imperial people that deliver the droids.
Yes.
Yes.
Separate. Okay.
Completely separate.
So I'll clarify this with Betty.
We need to find those droids.
I'm talking to Betty not just about Piper. That's
So
not my primary interest.
she cleared that one up.
My interest is the orphanage and these ISB.
Okay,
people.
so that's what she said. The
Yeah.
ISB people are only relating to Piper, nothing else.
Okay, so their interest in the orphanage is only in the sense that Piper is linked to Fabio.
They appear to
somehow.
be talking to anyone potentially linked to Piper in the past, except for the Sector Rangers for some reason. They have been told hands off.
Okay, that's interesting.
That's all she can find on the file is
My I guess is Thrawn.
I wonder who signed that one off.
Yeah.
That would be
So then I'll more specifically ask about these droids. Is there any information that I can get hold of about
Okay.
these droids?
she's having a quick look on the system and says there doesn't appear to be any requisition for droid transfer, droids used in a military purpose, droids used for civilian purposes, or droids used outside of the garrison they're constructing outside the city.
Okay. I asked Betty. No, I don't ask Betty. I thank Betty. And I want to put a call through to send email if I can.
Yep.
I'm gathering answers, no problems.
You currently get a voice message from Sandemo
Okay,
because he
I'll
was
do that.
currently investigating stuff.
I know he is. I leave a message for Sandemo saying I just wanted his experience and input. I explain currently investigating, looking at security for the orphanage stuff and this auction. I'm sure he understands kind of some of the connections there to, of course, Piper being wanted and all those other things. But I'm disturbed by this delivery of droids to this orphanage by an ISB officer.
It wasn't by the ISB
Oh,
officer,
okay.
it was by the Imperials.
Oh, by an
They
Imperial,
Imperial personnel.
Yeah, by an Imperial person that doesn't seem to have been done through official channels. And I just want to make sure that this is above board and that it is done properly, which I'm sure Sandima will appreciate. And
Want to report them about doing their paperwork.
yeah, exactly. Because I know that he's about to do the
They're
paperwork.
all about bureaucracy.
But because I'm not as experienced in doing the paperwork, I just wanted to get his input about how best to facilitate this without creating more fuss than is needed, but also authenticating that this is legitimate Imperial droids doing security here, rather than perhaps something that might have been done by terrorists. And my line of thinking is because we've had a lot of terrorist things happening recently. We are investigating, the whole rebellion on that poor planet that pretty much got destroyed. And so I just want to make sure that there's no links to that because, well, these are orphans and we don't want the Imperial name connected to these terrorist activities unjustly.
Okay.
Very good message.
It's a Sandemo message.
Short and simple.
Yeah. I never want to get married, but I'm pretty sure that if I was
He's an ideal,
he's
person.
a by the book type person. I'm a by the book type person.
As she's leaving this message,
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to ask the matron, I don't know, give her a name of some kind. Helen.
Yep.
Sounds like a matron name.
Yep.
Helena.
Helen. Yes,
Okay, so Helena.
My pussy will kill me. Let's just make it Helena.
Helen. Alright.
Well, I've written Helena down now. You've
Oh
done
God,
it.
no! My pussy will come back from the grave and haunt me.
Then we get to talk to her again.
Because
You can just say it's a My Chemical Romance reference.
Oh yeah, okay. Let's do that.
So I'll ask her if she can describe approximately how many droids were delivered and what type of droids.
Well, they looked a bit silvery, and she didn't get a good look at them because she was a bit distracted at the time by the Imperial guy and his how do I want to put it, porn star mustache.
Do we know of any persons that have a magnificent mustache?
Well, it wasn't magnificent. It really looked greasy and sleazy to her.
Okay.
All she could think of while she was looking at it, I can't leave him alone with the kids.
The only thing I can say is
I love that.
never tell yourself you can discount any weird reference turning up in a role-playing game. Because if there's room for a porn star mustache reference,
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen in a role-playing game, even a Star Wars one. Where
Well, it totally makes sense, because thinking of the era that Star Wars was created,
Yeah,
all of
it
that
could-
great motif from the 70s is
yes.
definitely in there.
it's on point, but also disturbing.
And he had a sickly cologne that just made me want to gag.
What's really weird is in real life, you're describing somebody that it's like a friend of my parents. I'm just like, oh, that's weird. He was a nice guy, but like, it smelled terrible.
I'm gonna go creepy rather than porn star because I really don't want to write
That's totally
in my
fair.
journal. I'm just gonna go with creepy,
Well, sleazy also works.
sleazy. Yes. Yeah.
So what, we've got a Dr. Roboto was the person who dropped off the
Just,
droids.
she has no idea. She can't even remember
So-
his name because it sort of flashed by so quickly, and
So
she
it
was
was-
gagging.
It was just the one guy, or it was the
She
Imperial, and then this weird guy.
Well, it was there was the Imperial in the black suit,
Yep.
and then this weird Imperial sleazy guy with the mustache.
Okay.
So he was a different guy. He was here the day before with the droids, who
Yeah.
she still hasn't seen since they were dropped off.
So she saw some silver flashes, but she doesn't know how many.
Yeah.
Okay.
She was too distracted by Mr. Stash,
I'm just writing this all
as she
down.
refers to him.
I'm writing it down because Sandino will probably ask me.
I'm gonna quickly grab
Um,
a snack while you're writing stuff down.
Can I also maybe see if I can do some sort of search for sleazy mustache type guys?
I'm sure that B1 can bring out thousands of sleazy mustache photo guys for you.
Sleazy mustache guys with Imperial connections?
I wouldn't say that he is connected to Imperials. He's most likely related to Sol Guerrera, who
Yeah.
is rebellious.
Yeah, so I didn't mean Imperial connections, I meant like...
In the database?
you know how they have...
The book?
Like driver's
ID
license.
book.
Yeah,
I know what you
that,
mean.
that kind of thing. Yeah, not yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
The thing
Mhm.
she's talking about that I can't think of the right word for, and my brain said Imperial instead, because nothing says sleazy like Imperial, right? I'm not laughing at this, I'm just burning and trying to cry. Droids of unknown number. Okay, cool.
And type. Unknown number and type.
Thanks. The day before. So,
He was in a green.
he was in
He was in a green uniform.
yeah.
So
The day before, an ISB, black,
No,
thing-
ISB was this morning. The day before was the
this
green.
morning. Okay, so this morning was the wanted posters with the ISB, and the day before was the Imperial in green with the sleazy mustache.
And another Imperial in
And
black.
I can I
That was
claim
this.
your pool
That was in this
question?
morning one. The ISB agent.
He didn't ask about a pool, did he?
We don't have a pool, but it would be strange if he was here to clean it.
Ignore
She
me.
says.
Ignore me. And then number and type. The day before.
Though also, I don't think she'd trust him with a mop either.
Okay. I'll ask her, or I'll say, as part of just sector security, I'm going to request that we do a search.
a sweep of the area.
A sweep of the area along with a search for these droids, because as they are meant to be security droids, as told by you, I just want to verify that their coding's intact and everything checks out.
We can't find the droids. We might want to get B1 here at some point to...
We would potentially move the location.
Yeah. Oh yeah, moving the location might be better.
But then again, like, you have, like, it's a fundraising event. changing everything last minute can be impossible to do.
But it can also be a great counter-terrorist activity.
Exactly. So it's one of those things that I think right now we need to search as well as we can for anything.
Yeah, I'm not saying we do it straight away, but
Yeah.
it's on the list of options.
It's an option.
So I'll also run a description check against
So you can,
known associates and things.
Mhm.
That's the word I wanted.
That's
Known
what
associates.
yes.
Betty does get back to Kayana,
Yep.
saying she was listening in on your conversation,
Oh, thank you, Petty.
and she says that you can potentially redirect people to a safer location
Mm.
and control them by picking them up from the orphanage and taking them there, which means you can then search, scan, and make sure only vehicles you control enter the area,
And
if that's what you wish to do.
that also means that we could possibly supply food and activities for our orphans that will get great in terms of our sector ranger reputation and so on.
It would be nice for the orphans for sure. I think the ultimate goal would be to have the orphanage itself be empty the night of the event.
Yes, I think that would be a great idea.
So yeah, I'll ask Betty to help organize a conference space to.
And accommodation. If you want them there, not on the night.
They don't need to stay the night. It's just for the event.
Okay, alright, yeah.
She's recommending one of the private airfields because they already have security.
Yep.
They already have exclusion zones.
Yep.
You're not going to have someone fly into the area without setting off lots of alarms.
So could we possibly go to the airfield where we're setting up the car?
You could, she says.
I would ask her to help organize to set up to have the event there, including getting all the fun things in line, such as chairs, tables, whatever they didn't already have organized for the event.
Well, most of it was being set up on the airfield anyway, because they're going to deliver it to the orphanage on the day.
So,
And perhaps our own in-house security of some sort.
that's us.
Yeah.
Yep. So, like, the
Then you
event
can
was
have
still-
your junior cadets also do the
Yeah,
security.
well, that's what I'm thinking. Just in-house only people we can trust.
Yeah. So there'll be no
droids B1 hasn't checked first.
no outside security. It will only be ran by sector rangers.
And she says she'll keep it hush-hush until the day so no one else can claim for it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I want to do. I'll run this by Major Helen, and I'll let her know.
She says, are you sure we've put in a lot of effort to have it here?
Yeah, I think I think it's.
Someone even provided pest control.
I know, and that's wonderful. Do you know who provided the pest control?
Probably similar people who provide all the food for the orphans and stuff. The community likes to pitch in, she says.
I think it's great.
Especially when I tell them we have things that need help.
Yeah. So
This won't go unused though. The orphans can still use the food, and
Oh,
pest control is still useful.
she says she always makes use of what she gets and makes it go a little bit further than the money normally allows.
I can imagine. Yeah. Okay. So I'll let her know. Just for safety, we're gonna. I'm gonna request that we have the event at this secondary location. Everybody's invited. All of the orphans are invited.
I think the kids would be excited to see an airfield. Maybe you can have some other sort of things there for them to gawk at and stare at.
I will. I'll tell her. Currently, there has been something organized to have Fabio's own vehicle at the event, and I'll just try to gauge what her reaction is to that statement.
She looks surprised and says, the last donation asked if we could put a picture of him up with his car on our sign.
Yeah.
Came through about a month ago.
Interesting. Would you be able to show me where that donation came from? you have that record?
She thinks so. Well, it was left on the doorstep with one of those, computer chippy things. She shoved it in her computer, and it seemed to work.
Gotcha.
Besides that, she's not really too sure. She doesn't really use computers much.
Yeah.
Apparently, having too many computers around kids who are probably smarter than she is with them is a bad thing to do.
Yeah.
So she doesn't have any technical devices on site.
Okay, that'll make it
That's
easier
an
to scan
interesting
into the
statement.
droids.
Very interesting statement. So I'll just verify. So there's no devices that send messages on site.
Oh, we have this, computer in the main office, but it's just a terminal. It doesn't really do much.
Ah, very interesting.
You normally have to plug in something to make it work, but the kids generally figure that out themselves and do lots of things. We even had a clown show up one day. No one knew the kid had ordered it.
Okay. This clown show, did they have a particular name of any kind?
Well, this was about a year ago.
So it was a while.
Fabio covered it, and
Yeah.
we're all good.
Gotcha. So, nobody other than you and maybe some sneaky kids have access to this computer.
When she pulls out a almost like a control thing that you're used to with the Imperials, like a control stick, but a lot lower tech.
Okay.
And she says, "Well, I just plug this in and then talk at it."
Okay, gotcha.
And it runs by voice.
I see. Could we kind of need B1 to verify if this was the
Well, Khaled doesn't
device?
have
Well,
computer?
yeah, Khaled, do you have computers?
Yep.
Nope.
Not yet.
Okay, who has computers? Oh, eBay.
eBay and
Sorry.
B1.
Is
I
that
mean,
something
we could
get
still
B1 to check in the background?
Well, you can just scan them with your
There you go.
data
can?
pad and scanners. You
Okay, yeah.
can plug your data pad into it.
Okay, so if we could, I'll ask her. Just for the sake of making sure everything is secure, we did receive some interesting messages coming from a device at this site. Will we be able to check your device for security?
She's happy. It's not like she's virus checked it anytime soon, because it's not like there's anyone who does much on it.
Okay, gotcha.
Though they do get free streaming from the Imperial HoloNet whenever it works, so she's not been a big fan of live streaming telecasts, because it's not been a lot of educational value in what's coming through for kids who just want to see car races or stories.
Yeah, totally fair.
She's not dissing the propaganda, but you sort of get the idea she's trying to say she doesn't like the Imperial propaganda.
Yeah. I'll tell her I definitely will take her note to whoever I can. So yeah, if we could get Khaled to do a check with his data pad, if this is the same device where the messages came from.
Okay. Well, basically, I'll be transmitting it to.
Well, you just basically
Yeah.
have a look and say, does it match the
Yep.
references? It's very easy to say, here's what you look
Okay.
for. Does it have this? Yes, no.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, I'll do that.
So you go have a quick look at it. It looks like it probably was built maybe 200 years ago. So it's still serviceable as a communication hub.
Yep.
But you believe it used to belong on a starship for one of those entertainment panels.
Oh, okay.
So it has still has some of the instructions on there. Push here to find the stateroom. Push here to find the holo suites. Push here to find the restaurants and stuff. Of course, most of the things you push on the panels are missing. having been scavenged for parts long ago.
So this is more like one of those like mall kiosks. It was like, where is this stored?
Very much so, which is why you can see that she doesn't really use it that much.
Yeah.
So as you check it over, it does have data ports on it. And looking at it, it is not the source of the of the messages, but they pass through here.
So okay, so it's not the source, but it was the transmitter.
That came through this machine.
So, how the world works sense. Could it be one of the droids using the machine?
It could have, except they weren't here.
Oh yeah, they weren't here until yesterday.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question, Martin? Are they still with the actual director of the orphanage, or they're elsewhere?
I am, yes.
Matron, yeah.
I would walk up saying, I've done most of the sweeping. Does anything else need to be done?
She said, yes, you could probably ask the pest guys if they need help. They seem to be a bit lost.
Okay, well, I'll go find the pest.
Pest guys might not be pest guys.
Yeah, I'll go find the pest guys.
Yep.
I'll send Thea with you, and just say one of our rangers here can also assist with the pest guys.
Oh, that would be appreciated.
Yeah, I'll ask her. Does she often have volunteers come to the orphanage?
She'd like it to say daily, but it's more like weekly or monthly.
Okay.
When Fabio was here, he'd stop by every 2 days.
I see. Is there does it usually change from time to time, or is it kind of like the same person every time?
Depends on how guilty you make the community, she says.
I see.
She's very good at making the community feel guilty, but she tries not to overdo it so that they actually help when she needs it.
Yeah. Can I try to describe Sol Guerrera to her? I'm like,
You can go, I got this pad. Look, see this guy?
no, I want
You see this
to describe him without being like a picture with his name on it.
You could bring up a picture without his name on it.
Yeah. Alright, I'll say, have you ever seen a volunteer? I know you have many volunteers, which is great because the community helps out when they can. Of course, not as often as possible, but have you ever had a guy like this come to volunteer?
She thinks. Doesn't ring a bell. Doesn't sound as lazy as the last guy we had here.
I was gonna say, have you ever seen this guy with the sleeves mustache before?
Not that she remembers. But he did stand out by just how bad the cologne was.
I can imagine.
I'm sure it would have been usable as starfighter fuel. It was that bad.
So is this indicating starfighter fuel cologne guy comes here regularly?
No,
No,
just the one
it's
time.
the only time she remembers smelling that stuff. And it's so toxic you could probably fly a ship with it.
That's why I call him starfighter cologne, fuel cologne guy.
That sounds like a cool
Sounds like
name for
something
cologne,
that
though.
eBay would sell.
Starfighter. Pretty sick.
Starfighter fuel.
Pretty cool cologne.
Unless, of course, it burns your skin.
For a girl who likes a working class man.
How'd you like to go? I like to go fast. Why? Flick, whoosh.
Real fast.
Hey, look, in the BDSM community, that could work.
It would totally work.
Absolutely.
Okay,
I
so
tell you, marketing, sell you anything.
we've got the two heading over to speak to the pest control. Ross, while you're in there at the terminal looking at it, you get a call coming through from San Diego.
Yep.
It says, sorry for calling at this time. I'm just trying to get you between patrols.
Yep.
He is currently deep in the records office of the governor. He actually keeps a lot of stuff on paper.
That's
This is a
weird.
good thing.
it's also
Although
bad
I
thing.
can't hear
Makes
the
it
call,
harder for
I
him
would
to
be
do
impressed
his
if I
job.
could.
Well, it's impressive that if it's on paper.
Well, it means it can't be scanned easily.
Yeah.
It can't be
Exactly.
hacked.
That's
it
what I
can't.
mean.
It just keeps striking him as dodgy and dodgier. Except that everything he's checked through on the paper trail he's looking through over the last day has come back as factual. And not dodgy yet. There may be other places where it can be done badly. But this is still an unauthorized search, so he's trying to follow the details.
I also need to find out about some security droids that have been supposed to have been dropped off by the Imperial a day or so here.
These be the
Is
ones
that-
left in the message about?
Yeah, he hasn't gotten to that message yet.
Okay,
Yeah. It's very unusual because the Imperial who dropped it off basically smelt like that he bathed in the cologne that he was using was like it was described as like bathing in starfighter fuel. That does not sound Imperial-ish.
He sighs. He says, "Well, depends on how high-ranking they were. If they were captain or higher, they can get away with atrocious things in the name of fashion to get noticed."
I wonder if
Okay.
that
What are we
means
saying?
If
His
I'm able to
mustache
get the-
isn't regulation?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
If I'm able to get the serial numbers, is there anyone I can contact to validate that the serial that those droids have actually been sent here?
It says that there are no security droids listed for Elrood from his last check. They did have 4 probe droids, 3 mouse droids, and 1 protocol, 3 R2, and they had requested an R3s, but they only sent them R2s. And he was sure that they were going to have 2 medical droids come, but apparently they got diverted to someone else who wanted them.
Is this to the orphanage?
To the Elrood Imperial
Elrood.
facilities.
Okay, right, yeah.
So he just rattles off a whole bunch of things that apparently he has kept track of what robots have been, well, droids have been requested by the Imperials on planet.
Okay,
Oh,
so we
I'm-
definitely need to find these droids then.
Yeah. Am I hearing this at all, Martin, or is this in a separate room?
This-
It's a call.
This
Yeah,
is happening
this is-
inside, and your character had gone outside.
We're out with the pest guys.
I know some that I'm not sure anyone else knows, so I'm going to keep out of it. So, yeah.
He says it would be very unlikely that anyone from the military would assign anything to the orphanage unless it went through the sector rangers, because you had been publicly assigned this location. You mentioned the ISB officer?
Yes.
It says, well, that sounds fairly straightforward, because
Yeah,
well,
that one there is just that a very smelly Imperial officer dropping off security droids is a little bit fishy.
yeah, he would generally announce who he was and probably have a media crew there to show he was actually doing this, as well as put out some press release at the same time. Otherwise, find the droids, because
We need to locate them.
there are some of Sal Guerrera's tactics is infiltrating locations with droids planted with explosives.
Yeah.
They are known tactics that he has read about. He believes one of the droids had previously been used to take one of the Imperial mining vehicles to blow up the DJ's building a couple of years back.
So, that's also being mentioned when I was talking to Sam Demo about the mining bombing ages and ages ago when we first sort of started here.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I was trying to track the droids, but obviously you kind of don't know that, but we might have discussed it over the period of time that we've been doing these investigations.
He says, send apologies to Thea, unable to do multiple calls at the moment.
That's
I believe
fine.
another patrol's coming, so I'm going to get off the line in a moment.
Basically that's. Thanks for that. I was very suspicious about droids being dropped off, but it being not sounding imperialish.
I
But
think
he-
we all were.
But he has asked one of his friends to intercede on behalf of the residents who were arrested to make sure that their case was pending until I finished my investigation.
Yeah.
So which
Okay. Thank you.
residents were arrested again?
The ones that were to be executed, who had protested.
Oh, yeah. The ones that I told him I thought were innocent.
And Ross had interceded with.
Yes.
That was
sorry.
why
Sorry.
That's all good.
I used wrong names.
All good.
Not
Yep.
me, Ross.
That was why he was getting back to Ross, because he was relating to that one.
Sorry, my hand's a little bit fractured.
Oh, good.
No, that's all right. Okay.
Has interceded.
Okay.
Okay.
Everybody's got comm links.
So while that's happening,
Helmets and that.
So while that's happening, I'm switching over to the pest guys. So you have a pest guy with the name Steve on his jacket, who looks up. She says, "Good. You're here. I just called the hotline for the local police. We're missing one of our pest guys."
Oh no.
Okay.
So you're here. You're very quick. I love the response time because I just called.
So Steve's got a tag,
Yeah.
I'm guessing. Does Steve have any official ID?
Yes. Sure. He starts digging through his pockets.
Yep.
And just starts dumping out all these various
That's fine. I'm
dead
patient.
pests as he eventually not pests, not pets.
Yeah.
Made sure I put the S in the right spot.
Yeah, I was like, wait.
And then he pulls out a grungy-looking ID
That's
that has Imperial stuff on it.
Yep.
Base matches his.
Yep.
Um,
Alright. Who's this guy that's gone missing?
it is Jesse.
Does he have an ID?
Of course, he's got an ID. He's Jesse.
Do you have him registered as your company in any official manner?
Well, he was the guy who likes to crawl through ducts to find the pests. See, he's thin.
How did you pay Jesse?
I don't pay him. My boss pays him.
Okay, alright.
Pays me as well.
So Jesse was an employee of your company?
Yes, we spray him and then spade him.
Okay, and when did you last see Jesse?
When I sent him in the crawlways.
How long ago was that?
About 3 hours ago.
Okay. And what's the entrance of this place that you, like, is it hallway, or was he in vents or something?
In the vents, he's tiny, so he fits in quite well.
He went into vents. Okay, awesome. And how often does he normally report back to you when he's doing this
Well,
kind of
didn't
jobs?
expect to hear back from him until about half an hour to an hour ago when he should have finished. But
Okay.
comms don't really work in most of those vents anyway.
Okay.
So he normally goes in, does his stuff, and comes out.
Okay. Are any of the rest of your team missing?
Just him.
Just him. How many other people on your team are here?
Besides Jesse, there's Bill over there, who the guy who limps a lot because he dropped something on his foot. But it never quite grew back properly afterwards. But hey, you get that when you can grow limbs.
So did you say this is Steve?
So you're talking to Steve.
Yes,
Yeah.
I was just writing down names because I have like a hideous memory.
Yeah.
So there was Bill, who's lost part of his foot.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Trandoshan.
Oh, Trandoshan. Yep.
Yep.
And then
The missing guy is Jesse.
Yeah, I've got that part one down.
I'm not there. Never mind.
No, I don't mind you helping me with questions.
What race is Jesse?
Yeah. And
Oh, Jesse, he's like yay big, squibby, sort of tiny, squishy, push through holes sort of person.
But do you know his race? His actual race?
I think it's a squib. I never quite
Squid.
asked.
Okay. Yeah, because.
Well, I know he's not a Jawa because I can actually understand what he says. I can never get the Jawa speak. They talk too fast for me.
Okay. And
But I tried with him lots of times.
does Steve appear as a particular race to me?
He looks very human, but
Human?
covered in...
Grime.
Yep.
Yep, no, that's fine. I'm all good. So it's just Bill, Jesse, and anybody else?
Me, Steve.
Just Steve. So there's a group of 3 of you.
Yeah.
And normally Jesse's the one who goes through all the events, and you haven't seen him.
No.
All right.
Hard to replace. Can't get many people that small to work for me.
Okay.
Hey,
Yeah.
Mark,
Well, fair
Mark.
enough.
Yep.
While I'm listening to this conversation, I'm keeping quite silent. Am I getting any sort of rapport off Steve of is he telling the truth or not?
We can.
Also, just quickly,
I've
I'm going
got
to suggest to...
yeah, I've got streetwise as well.
Jed, I'm going to suggest that you stay with Steve here. I'm going to actually go off to one side and do some other things, which after you have your turn, I'll go in with Martin.
Yeah, so 2-2-9, no, the streetwise.
Okay, so you believe he's telling you the truth.
Cool.
But that definitely, he doesn't seem to be hiding anything behind.
No,
what
that's,
he's
that's. I just want to get that kind of that kind of rapport with him that he's telling the truth. Look, I just if you say something, Kiana, I'll just say, yes, Kiana. Yep,
rather than...
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not there, so
Yeah.
be Thea.
So
Thea, sorry.
What I was just going to do is say, Steve, this is Jed.
Yep.
If you'll just give me a few secs, I'll get Jed to get some more official details for this missing person report. I'll go to one side, I'll use my comms to see if eBay is handy, because I want someone small who can possibly go into these vents and have a look.
Okay, you get a message bank from eBay.
Oh, that's fine, okay. I'm guessing I'm too big for these vents.
You probably have to strip right down to take off armor and most gear to get into the vents.
This won't be my first run through vents before, as we'll recall from my very first assignment, running through vents. I'm happy to strip down and go look if I'm small enough to do it. I will put my gear with a trusted colleague, Jed, or in the car if the car's nearby, and I will venture into these vents to see if I can find any sign of Jesse.
Okay.
Do I have any kind of scanner thing that could help
Martin,
me?
can I actually now state that we need to find the droids?
You can before she gets in there while she's getting ready to go.
Yeah, and I can look out for the droids as well.
Yeah, the droids are very suspicious. They said Sol Galliana uses them to as explosives and things like that. So,
like to make a point now also that while I'm stripping down my gear, I am keeping at least one weapon that will fit with me. Guessing a blaster. Does it have a safety? Okay, please say there's
you
a
got a
safety.
stun setting.
Well, no. See, stun setting's no good if I tuck it into my waistband or my bra strap and I shoot myself and stun myself inside the vent. So does it have a safety?
Sure.
Okay, alright, so I will squish that wherever it'll fit before I go into the vents. Do I have any scanning devices?
You do realise that bras don't exist in the Star Wars universe?
They do if you are me.
Because that's what George Lucas stated.
I will say this as politely as possible. I don't give an F what George Lucas says. He's a man. As far as I'm concerned, I'm wearing a bra or equivalent thereof.
Yep.
Yeah, you will not get one female in this room that disagrees with me.
Exactly.
Yeah, only a man will say bras don't exist.
While you're doing that, I'd go reach in my backpack and pull out a black bar and saying, "This might go get as much dust on it, and I give it to you." That's as PG as I'm going to go.
Well, I appreciate the PG-ness. I'll be wearing one already.
Okay, that's okay.
And
I'll be polite and make sure Steve looks the other direction.
No, that's fine. And I really don't care stripping down to my bra and shorts if I have to, as long as there's somewhere to stick the blaster.
Okay.
I was say with our armor, we have typical long.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we've got like.
And most of the time, you don't have to take the clothes off itself. It's just all the harnesses and attachments,
and that's what I'm presuming.
And like the equipment belt and all that sort of stuff.
I'm presuming that because I can't wear my belt, that I'll have to stick the gun into something. So it's either a waistband or a bra strap. So preferably because I've got to crawl through spaces, a waistband's not a good choice, but a bra strap is. That said, are there any scanning devices that I've got?
Your character has a long-range scanner, but not a portable one.
Okay, so does anyone here have a portable scanner?
I have scanner goggles, if that helps.
Does it have a scanner?
Yeah.
It does. It's also one that's attached to the car, so it can scan areas.
Yeah. Can we use that before I crawl into the vents to scan for Or
It might not detect anything in the vents or.
Okay,
Because
alright.
yeah, because we
Yep.
told the comms don't
Okay, so
I just
I
wanted
do
to
have
check
a
those
general
options.
purpose scanner.
So Ross has one.
Okay.
So
I
Carl
was
I
gonna
take
use
that
to
in
try to
with
find
me.
the
I presume
droids.
it won't work from a distance.
Well, you're assuming that if the droids are visible, they're probably hiding in the vents.
Okay.
What I'm proposing is, I presume because comms cut out down there, as kind of reminded us, I'm going to need to take a scanner with me, but what I want to do is try and at least scan ahead so that if these droids or something are 2 or 3 meters ahead of me, I've got some kind of
Yeah,
warning.
it'll pick up power signatures from that distance.
Yeah, so I will borrow
The
your...
motion sensor one is ridiculously. I don't know how they specify that it can detect up to movements from a half a kilometre away.
Yeah, well, I'll just take the general scanner, I'll take my blaster on safety.
You also need to take your scanner goggles as well.
Yeah, I'll
Because
grab
you're going to be looking at pitch darkness.
Yep, I will grab
Mhm.
that and I will go into the vent
Okay.
closest to where we suspect
So,
Jessie is.
Steve, have you got a rough idea of what the layout of this area is like?
Says
Was
well,
it scan?
old building, probably one of the oldest in the city. Was set up about maybe a couple of years after colonization. Lots of deaths back then. And has extensive ducting to save on heating. They put one big heater in the bottom. So about 2 levels down is the furnace room.
Just because I know you, I'm going to make sure that the furnace is off, just in case.
Well, I would actually probably ask if there's any access.
Yeah.
What is the actual word I'm thinking of? If there's any access to the furnace room that he knows of, and if he doesn't know, I'm going to ask Matron.
Yeah,
Well-
yeah,
Jesse was doing that via the ducts.
yes.
Well, is there any maintenance access that he knows of?
Only through the ducts, he says, because apparently after years of being built and rebuilt and stuff, some of the access way got built over at some point and no one knows where it is.
I'll ask Matron Helen as well.
Let's just take it then.
She shrugs, she just pushes the buttons.
Okay.
I'm heading into the vents then,
Mhm.
considering that there's no other access points. As far as we know, the furnace was turned off for Jessie, because hopefully Steve's not that stupid. And I've got the scanner and the goggles and the blaster,
Yeah.
and hopefully...
So
It's
the
gonna fine.
squid is basically just an attractive version of a Jawa.
Yeah. I'm guessing so.
He
I
doesn't
don't
need to
know.
hide under a robe.
Do we have a squid? A picture of a squid?
That's who we're looking for as well.
Yeah, well, it'd be nice to know who I was looking for.
Hang on, I might be able to get one too.
Not to say that if they're attractive, I would hit on them, but, you know.
Okay. She's a
They're
good...
just maybe better looking than.
Oh, okay.
Cartoony
alright.
sort of version of one.
It's kind of like a
Furry.
cross between a rat and a dog.
Doggy.
And,
Yeah, that's
It's
what
a
I got.
furry.
This is what Chihuahuas think they actually look like.
yeah. That's
I can say this
perfect.
as a person who owns 2 Chihuahuas.
I was going to say you own 2 chihuahuas, so you are an authority.
Yes.
Alright, do I encounter anything while I'm crawling through these vents?
Okay, so, crawling through the vents. Let's see how good your computers are.
I
think it's
they
2
got
dice.
me through last time I was checking, but yeah, I think my sheet's over there with your stuff. I put it back last time we worked on I think it's just inside the cover there. Sorry to be a pain.
Sorry, I forgot to get it out with all the stuff
look,
going on.
we actually worked on it last week, so I'm just impressed with that. I think we worked on all my characters last week.
That's pretty good.
Okay, so yes, you have 2 in intellect.
It's just I'm wearing the wrong glasses to read it.
Okay, so doing a scan through there, you do bang your head a little bit, getting one strain.
Yeah, yep. So
It's not
one strain.
terrible. That's pretty good, actually.
And you find a bloody boot.
Oh, okay. I see if my comm works. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
It's got a bit of static.
If it does, I let them know I found a boot and I am continuing on.
Do you pick it up?
Yes.
Still got the foot in it.
Okay.
Is it furry?
Yes.
I continue on. I'm
Okay.
presuming I'll find a body soon, but you know, if there's a chance that even with amputated foot person is still alive, I'm going to go look.
Mm-hmm.
I should have brought some sort of health medic emergency kit, but I didn't, so I'm just going to have to drag them out there as fast as I can if they are alive. I can try and tourniquet with my clothes, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or you could just spend a destiny point and then say you got a stim pack with you.
Let's see if I find an alive or dead body at this stage. If they're alive, yes, I will definitely do that. If they're dead, then probably not.
Before we move on, so she tried to contact us, just says it was fuzzy. Did anything come through?
Yes.
Okay. So,
And I never thought I'd write this, but I really shouldn't. Unexpected. I find a foot. I find a furry foot.
okay, so I'm going to say that there's 1 black for static and see if... so who's standing at the hatchway?
It's mine.
I am.
Kind of, yeah.
Because I gave her all the scanning stuff.
Yep. That makes the most sense to me.
But I presume Jed is nearby with Steve.
I would think
and
Jed is with Steve and then I'm with Matron Hill.
Matron, yeah.
No. Jed can actually help with 1 point of intellect.
Hey! I know,
Yeah.
Jed is smarty.
Okay, so yes, you just get static coming through.
Oh well. Sorry, Jed, doesn't matter how smart you are, you can't
uh,
fix static.
Jed takes another point of strain
Oh,
from all
sorry.
the static in Jed's ear.
Yeah, trying to understand it.
I'll make
Steve,
it up to you later.
what were you killing out here?
He pulls up roaches the size of burgers. Says he sells these onto some of the local flea market.
Flea market is such an interesting term.
That was why he chose it.
That's funny.
I don't suppose anyone communicated that there'd be burger-sized roaches down here, did they? So.
Well, we can, but I don't think you're
Well,
going to hear
you would
it.
have seen him pull them out earlier when he.
Okay, alright.
and-
So, well, this is why I brought my blaster, to be honest. I just don't know if my aim's going to be good enough, even
So-
with burger-sized roaches.
You've now found a foot.
Yes.
You are unarmored with 1 blaster.
Yep.
You are continuing on?
Yes.
Alright, have fun.
I've committed to finding this poor fellow who, if he's alive, doesn't have much time left. I'm a Mandalorian. If I retreat at this point, I will be ashamed to call myself Mandalorian. Because if you're ashamed to walk away from an opponent that will kill you, if you run away from a burger-sized roach, I'm pretty sure I would beat myself to death in shame.
I'm not sure burger-sized roach did whole foot amputations, but you know what? I totally get your motivation here.
Yeah. The Mandalorian code says that I'm not
Mandalorian
turning
code.
back even if it's a dog-sized roach.
Okay, so as you're going further in, you start to hear it tap 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 on the passageway behind
Sort of
you.
like
I need a metal.
feet of insects. I'm gathering there's almost no turning capacity in these vents.
You can potentially turn around.
I don't want to quite turn around, but I want to turn around enough to see if it's a danger.
Well, once you get to another intersection, it'll be a lot easier.
Well, when I get to an intersection, I will remove my blaster, take the safety off, turn around and check behind me, and any other direction I might hear.
Okay.
Any other direction that's available to me at that time.
So it takes you another about 20 minutes to get to another intersection at this point.
As long as I don't feel bites, and even if I do, I don't think there's a lot of choice. That's how long it takes.
Okay, so.
Always makes me nervous when he rolls dice.
Okay, so you reach the intersection and your scanner picks up energy signatures from each of the intersection points, including behind you.
Signatures plural. Okay.
Including behind you.
Okay. I should have brought a flamethrower. Really, I need to get more gadgets. I'm a Mandalorian. It is something I am obligated to do, but I really haven't spent enough time to. So right now, while I'm promising whatever Mandalorian warrior I'm worshipping,
And while
I'll do that.
Your goggles are picking up lines of energy for tracking coming down each of the passageways, pointing towards you.
So
Okay.
about how many energy signatures?
4 energy signatures, 1 down each passageway.
Okay. Can I see anything?
No, you can't see.
Well,
It looks like
are these getting bigger? What's my vision like?
the lines seems to be tracking from far away down the passageway to slowly moving towards you.
Okay.
But you wouldn't see it without your scanner goggles on.
Okay. Can I lift my scanner goggles slightly to see if I can see any blood going off in one direction or another?
There's no light here.
Okay. Can I feel any blood or liquidy, wet stuff?
There was no blood or liquidy wet stuff on the trip to here.
Or with the foot?
The foot didn't have any blood or...
So, was it like it was cauterized?
You're not quite sure. You didn't get a good look at it.
Okay. Does it feel dry?
Feels dry, but
Okay.
now's a weird time to check.
Well, no, when I picked it up, would I've... Like, I found a foot. You said it was a bloody foot. A bloody boot, and you said there was a foot in it.
There was a bloody boot, yes, with a foot in it.
Okay. Did I get an impression from feel? Because I imagine if it was covered in blood, it would be mushy and... Or did it feel like it was fried? Like maybe a droid burnt it off?
Hard to tell.
Okay.
Or a lightsaber cut it off.
I don't imagine there's a lightsaber in here, but I imagine there could be droids with laser type weapons on them. So these signatures that I see, is there any indication through my goggles or my scanner that these are biological or non-biological energy signatures?
You change the settings to it.
Okay.
They wouldn't. You were looking for droids, so they were non-biological, and
Yep.
the tracking lasers would not be coming from a biological entity.
Okay.
And so you think of the predator as the lasers, moving slowly towards something.
Okay.
That once it tracks and reaches a target, it'll probably fire.
So someone of reasonable intelligence like myself would presume that these are droids
Mhm.
and that they can probably, if not kill me, start delimbing me, and then I can attain the status of honoured cybernetic limb parts person with my leaders, but at this stage not an actual intended goal. Can I use my blaster to and the thing to aim at in any of these directions at one of these oncoming
You can.
things? Can I fire a shot at them?
You can. There was a lot of working up to that, but we can do that.
Yep, well, my brain took a long time to process. I apologise
It's all
for
good.
that.
So you have,
Sorry, that's not you, that's just my shoulder.
and with your tracking
I
and
said
aiming,
shoulder. I'm in the right side.
so
Going all the way from my hip.
that is your
Oh,
dice
yeah.
pool.
Ooh, okay, that's a good
Good
one.
Is that good for me?
The
So
purple
that's
is
the bad.
bad
The purple is the bad dice.
The rest are
Yep.
good.
This hopefully ends kind of
Okay. So you
well. Please don't tell me I feel good about it, but I'm about to die.
No, you
you
That'd be
ended
really
up
funny.
with 2 net successes and an
Okay.
advantage.
Okay.
As you hear an explosion down the passageway that you shoot,
Okay.
I'm assuming you shot the one behind, making sure you had a way to
Yep.
get out if you needed to.
Yes.
Because
yes,
that was
thank
what you talked about doing.
Thank you.
And outside, they hear a gun and boom as something explodes with rather significant force inside the building.
Has that blown a hole into anything?
Well, we're running into the house, the building.
Just everyone pause for a sec for me. Just in this moment.
Yep.
So I've blown this up.
There's lots of dust and debris at the moment.
That's
Hard
fine.
to tell.
I withdraw a little bit in the direction that I've just killed something in, and then I take aim at
The next,
whatever's in front of me or next. I think if they're all equally close, then whichever one. But
Well,
if
only one of them.
one's-
Only one of them has line of sight from you once you move down that corridor.
Okay, so I move down the corridor enough to just have line of sight with the one thing and shoot at them. What point, and I'm not going to use it right now, but what point, if I can I use a destiny point to get my ass out of trouble if I need to?
Generally, when everything's coming down on you, or you want to you could say, I spend a destiny point to suddenly find a hatch and fall out.
Okay, alright, so I won't spend that destiny point now. I will try to shoot the droid in front of me, and...
But once you spend them, they don't come back easily.
Yeah, I know, that's why I don't want to spend it unless I really might.
Okay, so as you're doing so, I might roll to see how they go.
Fair enough. So I hit one, didn't I?
Just doing some initiatives.
Something dark. So, how appropriate.
Yeah, this is the time that phrase works.
Well, Martin and I think that I developed it because Star Wars was something I was watching a lot when my pain was really bad.
So
it became
that joke.
It's known as a safe phrase.
Yeah.
It's a word you feel really safe with.
Yeah.
Something dark side.
See? That's pretty
It must mean that I'm a Sith.
Yeah.
Well, because you don't know the words properly, definitely not the Sith they're looking for.
Yeah. Or maybe I was connecting it to cookies. Yeah, I think the cookies.
Okay, so Thea gets to use her vigilance,
Oh, I have vigilance. Oh yeah, that's right, I do have vigilance.
which is based on will. So that's
You
your
want
dice
to
pool
roll.
for initiative.
Yeah.
You have one.
I think.
And you were wondering where those dice come in handy.
Yeah.
So basically, you're shooting off first before combat happens.
You got
Pretty
a-
much is what the Triumph allows you to do.
Yeah, you got a
nice.
super success.
So you get an extra
I need to
shot
throw it
off
back.
before they get to go. So of the 3 remaining droids, you get to shoot first.
Okay. I'll shoot the richest.
Well, you're shooting the one.
Well,
that
sorry.
was down
Yeah,
the other.
sorry. There is one in. Oh, well, I shoot the one in front of me and hope to God I kill it.
Okay, so with the whole one success, apparently you're choking a little bit in the passageway, taking a second strain, as there's another explosion, and you can see light from down that passageway where you shot it, and it looks as if the bit below it was open.
Okay. Can I see here on the scanners, or I'm not sure if I can, the other 2 incoming droids?
You can see that they're getting closer,
Okay. I'm going to shoot at the next one.
but they also get to act.
Oh, okay, that's
You
fine.
get to shoot once around.
Yep. Right. So I will try to stay as guarded as I can.
Okay.
But if they hit me, they hit me.
So while that's happening, you hear a second explosion from inside the building. Yeah, moments after you hear the first explosion.
Just so.
Inside the building.
Yeah, you don't hear it out of the vent.
I
Just so
will.
people know, I'm going to try and get all 4 droids because I don't want them to escape.
Yeah, no, I totally guarantee
Yeah.
that. I'm gonna
Is the
indicate to
orphanage,
Carla to
still in
follow me
there?
out.
Wait for a minute there, Ross.
Yes, I'm gonna indicate for Carla to follow me into the building so we can explore to see if we can find where this explosion is coming from.
All good. And what was Ross saying?
The orphans, they're still in the building, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
No.
So we're going to
I-
evacuate the building.
I did say a little bit back. Have we evacuated out the
Children.
And
That's right. I think you sent them out somewhere else.
Yeah, I didn't want them in the area I was in because if there's droids and a missing
Okay.
place guy.
So I assume you did. I just didn't
Yeah.
hear it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I think we might have been talking over each other.
the orphans come.
So basically,
first.
the only
I will
buildings
flip over a
are
destiny point to say that happened.
Okay, yeah, that works. I'm happy
Yeah.
to save children's lives for a destiny point.
Which
Although I was going to technically spend my destiny
This-
point to save the squid.
the destiny points belong to all the group, so there's still 2 left.
Yeah, but I don't want to. I
Yeah.
don't want to spend excess.
Okay, so what? So the 2 of you rush in. What about
Jed.
Jed?
So Jed was still at the vent when she went in there. The explosion, how far away was it from the vent that I'm standing at? Can
Probably.
I see the explosion from the vent? Like, is it like just up the actual?
You
ventilation
can
system?
hear stuff, but you can't see anything in there. You didn't even see the shot.
All I hear is a big bang, 2 bangs kind of thing.
You hear a bang followed by a bang a moment later. Well, first you hear a shot, then a bang, and then just a bang.
I yell out. I do just yell out for Thea going, Thea, you okay? Do you want me to come in there? And that's what I'm waiting for a reply.
Okay.
I will be talking even though nobody can hear me. So I'll leave my comms on and I will say things like, I'll keep it succinct, droid spotted, and then once I've got the first one, I'll be going 1 down and then 2 down, and that's it. I'll keep it really concise. And if anyone picks up that, they do. If not,
I'll bring up my pistols on that, and I'll just bring it out just ready, just in case I see something coming.
Please don't shoot me in the ass, but if you accidentally do, that'll work fine, as long as I survive.
I've already thought about this already, and I decided I was thinking about going in. I thought, no, likely that I'll be shot at, so I'm not going to go in there. So,
look,
but if you... so I'm
if someone accidentally shoots me in the butt while I'm in there, the scar will later be something that I can share with a future partner.
Well, you end up with a saber butt.
Yeah, you know, bite my shiny metal ass will actually work for me.
There we go.
I'm going to stay outside, but I'll unholster my pistol and just...
Alternatively, I now almost want someone to shoot me in the butt so that this can happen.
Sorry. Is Steve next to me right now?
Steve is nearby right now, yes.
Can I tell Steve to get him and his other guys out of here right now?
And make sure the children are safe, maybe.
And can he at least tell other people to get the children out of here right now? So I'll just stand guard.
You see the matrons rushing people out of the orphanage.
Okay. Cool. I'll leave it up to Thea now to kill the rest.
Fictional orphans I want saved. Alright.
Okay, so yes, you hear the sound of scurrying as metal legs start rushing up both of the passageways, as you can see them coming closer.
Yep.
But they spend their entire turn getting closer.
Okay. Do I have a turn now?
So yes, you do have a turn.
I shoot at one, whichever one I can.
You aim and shoot at one as it appears around the corner.
Yep, dear God. Not the face!
Okay, so that ends up being a success with 2 advantages.
Really?
As it was close enough to detonate both of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, they had explosives in them after all.
Yes.
Oh, do I still have a face?
Yes.
Oh, thank God.
It has one of those look of concern as you see the furnace below as the bottom of the orphanage starts to fall apart with the explosion.
I have a feeling we might need to find these guys a new orphanage.
The fundraiser is for a new orphanage.
Yeah. It's okay, I have proof in my notes here that I want to donate food and time at this orphanage now that Fabio's not doing it, so
we're gonna need...
I will work on raising money for...
So...
And you see down there what appears to be body of a
squib?
Very badly mangled squib.
Aww, poor guy.
Okay, alright.
Poor Jesse!
If I can get to the squib, even though I know it's unlikely, I will check for violence.
Okay, so we will give you a roll to see if you survive the collapsing stuff.
Yeah, that might help.
Okay, so that would be good for...
So we're talking about the foundations that are collapsing?
Yep.
Yep, foundation.
I'll give you a survival roll, which is based on cunning.
Collapse. Why can't it ever be on willpower and presence? I'm building my character. Martin tells me willpower and presence are beautiful things to invest in, and yet I would have to say in all of 32 odd sessions, they've not done me a whole lot of good.
I feel like he lied to you.
You just killed 2 droids before they could shoot you back with that.
No, I'm teasing.
You can take that back if you like.
No, I was trying to make it funny.
Don't encourage him, guys. Don't encourage
Okay, so ducking and rolling, you manage to get down to where the squib is and get him out of the way of the falling debris.
And is there any vital signs? And
Okay. So that would be a medicine roll, which is based on intellect.
I do have some med checks and stuff like that, but I don't have any specific medicines.
And you didn't bring any stuff down?
Not
with
unless
you.
I spend another thingy, so...
But it should be easy enough to tell if a person's dead or not. So.
Okay, checking him over. He's alive! You take
Really?
one threat from strain of realizing you've just saved his life from falling debris.
Okay.
He's alive.
I then yell really loudly for medical help, and fast. So I don't mind if you guys mistake it for me, as long as you get where I am
Okay, so the
fast.
others are rushing in.
So
As you're rushing in, you both get to make coordination checks to see how well you're going.
I have one
That's
in
fantastic,
coordination.
by the way.
I have one in coordination with the 3 in agility, and I believe that Khalid has the other agility.
He has 2 points in agility for Khalid. Let's see
Yep.
how well Khalid goes with running into a building that
I
just...
also get a blue dice with coordination.
You do?
That's
Then
good.
that's good,
Yeah.
so we'll do you first.
That is awesome.
So, as you go rushing in, you don't fall over, but you take 2 strain from
Oh,
debris hitting you in the
I
face.
took extra strength.
That's alright.
You don't forget about me, Martin, because I'm still in the building. So.
Yeah.
You said you were standing by the entry
By
that
the vents.
Thea
The
went,
vent.
and that's
Okay.
actually on the outside of the building.
Oh, was it outside? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys are going inside, unless you guys need me, I'll stay outside. So.
No, I indicated
Okay.
for you to stay outside to monitor the events for Thea.
And Kayana with her...
I have a 3 in agility, but 1 in one rank in coordination.
Yeah, I've got you down as one in coordination. So.
Okay, so apparently, whereas Khalid got smacked in the face with it, you got knocked down, and
Yup.
next thing you know, you land next
I'm
to
sorry.
Thea in the bit below, taking 4 wounds from the fall.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Does
Oh,
my
I got
soak
a
count
wound
for this or
too,
no?
didn't I?
Gets through the circ.
It
So-
gets through okay. So
I've
like
got
armor
a
piercing or whatever.
wound as
So it's not
well.
damage that
That it would,
that
Keep
soak
me
takes.
calm,
It's
yeah.
basically bang.
which is totally fair because I fell.
Yeah.
So makes sense.
And 1 strain, so you're on
Yeah,
2 strain
yeah,
and
from
4
that.
wounds as you land next to
Yeah.
Thea.
I'm just
Sounds
checking.
right.
And then yeah,
I'm at 3 strain, 1 wound.
you're at 3 strain, no wounds.
Oh, okay, no wounds. Accidentally hurt myself. Alright, all good. Well, not all good. You've got 4 wounds.
I'm fine.
As you see that.
Please tell me you have a stim pack on you.
My threshold is 15. I'm fine.
Okay, cool. No, I meant for the screw.
Okay.
Oh,
Alright.
good. Nah, I don't have
I'll
that.
I'll whack this.
And,
on the sweep.
Khalid is about 2 floors up.
Oh, really? Throw that down here, dude.
As he feels part of the foundation starting to collapse underneath him.
Hang on to something and throw that down here, dude.
I really wish I had the grappling hook thing that Boba Fett had.
I will put that on my gift
I'll
list
toss
next
the stim
life
pack
day.
down and see if I can find a safer way down.
Okay, so
Forcing the floor to come down.
I'm sure you're very athletic. I'm sure you can come up with a way to go down quite safely.
See, so the person I should be in here is Mark, because he got agility 4 and 1 in athletics, but I won't go.
Yeah, well, could Mark have run into the house by now?
I'm yelling out to see if you want a hand. but
Well,
you don't.
yes,
but
because
the
if
thing is,
he's now told everybody to get away,
Yeah, that's true.
it would make sense for Jed to now come in.
Yeah.
Well, athletics is actually based off brawn.
It is,
Yeah.
and you've got 3 points for that. So, would you like to try to find a way down?
Yes, thanks. Because I've got the medical pack as well.
Okay,
No.
you believe you found a safe way down with a net failure.
Sorry. Believe. Here I am trying to save this squib, and I'm gonna kill all my teammates.
So you take the quick way down you have envisioned.
Okay, so I'm going to try to do the hero landing, am I? Because
Okay.
I'm falling.
So you see above you Khalid make a leap for what he thinks is a stable platform, but as he lands, he goes straight through it.
Is he trying to do the superhero landing with his metal arm touching the ground?
Well, it looked like he was trying to do the leap from platform to platform on the way down.
Does he
Yeah.
get any
Except the
extra
platform
for having
he-
a metal arm?
Except the platform he jumped onto was only tiles with no floor beneath it.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
So he goes straight through the tiles and falls floor down.
You do the superhero landing, and then dust poofs around your metal hand.
And you end up with 2 wounds hitting the ground.
Yeah, that's fine.
But hey, you made it down.
Okay.
At which point, Jed can rush into the building above.
Okay, cool. That would be awesome. You know, if I just had my gear on, I do have both a med pack and like an emergency.
Yeah, but the med,
But
you
alas.
wouldn't be able to squeeze through with the
But
med.
yeah, I
pack.
wouldn't have.
Well,
switched it.
Jed has your stuff though.
I'm just trying to admire the irony of that situation.
Should put it in the car, actually.
Oh, it's in the car. Ah.
I asked
Yeah.
Jed to put it in the car so that
Yeah.
if Jed had to run away to help, say me, that my stuff wouldn't
Be
be.
safe. Yeah.
Yes, but I actually do carry a med pack.
Yeah, I was going to say, but I do know Khalid is as scout prepared as I am.
Okay, so Khalid dusts himself off and comes over as Jed is 2 floors up. What does Jed do? Does Jed come down and follow the superhero jump like everyone else?
If there's
Or
a
just-
chance to yell at Jed first,
Yes,
I would
there is
like
always.
to. I would tell Jed that Khaled's got the injured person here. We will be okay. Get at least one, if not all, of the 4 droids.
What?
That I shot.
Get them.
Yes,
They're exploded.
that's
In the-
if there's any remains, we need them to find out who the hell set this up.
You would probably need somebody up above to hold a rope to get us out.
Will we?
Because
Yes.
our mission now is rescue the squid. Squid.
Okay, we'll do that then.
Yeah.
Nope, that's okay. Let's go with
Is it-
Pain Brain.
Okay, now,
Going
does
off
anyone
into
have a
a
rope?
different
Does
direction.
anybody is there any ropes in the car or anything like that I know of? Or?
I have kits in my car.
There is a climbing kit in the
There is?
boot of the car.
Okay,
I have like so much gear in that car.
okay,
Oh,
I'll
I
go
put
back.
it in here.
If I know
Yeah,
that,
my climbing gear's in the car as well.
Okay,
I just
I'll
don't
go
have it on me at the moment.
I'll go get it, come back, find the hole, try to put some rope down to help people get out, or
Okay.
at least the person out.
So it takes a little while, and Jed comes back. You have the matron call down the hole that she's called emergency services and said there's been an explosion and requested fire ambulance.
Yep.
Perfect.
This all sounds really good.
Considering she didn't think anyone else had called.
Yeah.
No.
That's
Not at this
entirely
stage.
fair.
Though she did have to pinch Steve's com thing to do so.
I'm pretty
That's
sure
perfectly
she didn't have to
fine.
pinch it. I'm pretty sure Steve would have been okay giving it to her.
Yeah.
Well, loaning it to her.
Yeah.
Thank you everyone for saving the squib's life at my behest.
Yes. Once I have the climbing kit over the hole, I'll start lowering the rope down or something like that so I can try to bring somebody up. And
I'd send Kayana and the squib up first because.
Well, we don't actually have a stretcher.
Well, we could use the harness with the
Climbing
grappling
kit, yeah.
climbing kit.
Yeah.
So we could harness. There'll be 2 harnesses on there because I got one. Like when we went up the cliff to the Trandoshan.
Yeah,
She has
yeah.
2
and that.
people on
So-
them
Yeah,
at a
so
time.
he's using both climbing gear.
So harness
So each-
Kayana.
so
harness
Ross,
the squib, and
Each
then-
set was set up to take 2 people when
Yeah.
you were climbing up the cliff face.
So if you dumb that down, we could put Kayana in one. She can carry the squib up, and because she's got injuries, she can have her injuries seen to first, as well as the squib. So I'd send them up first, and then I'd wait for the next lot, and then I'd send you and me could go up together.
Yeah.
Khalid.
Well,
and-
since we have the 2 sets, we can go at the same time.
Oh yeah, I don't know. Can you pull up 2 people at the
I
same time?
think
if
it'd be
it's just
yeah,
two?
I think it'd be structurally better if it's one at a time.
Yeah, I'd say.
True.
Yeah,
true,
I'd
true.
say.
I'm just thinking, unless you want me to drop yours, I think you just one time. So,
Yeah, no. So in order of woundage, I would be sending people up, triaging.
Martin, while I'm doing this, I'll make sure I can get hands from the vermin protector guys who helped me out because he's one of their guys.
Yep, Steve's got a bloody nose at the moment.
What? Why?
Explosions.
Oh, no, make sure you hit him in the head when you get the scanner. Yeah, that's right. But I'll see if I can get some people to help me out that might be around, kind of thing, just to help with the rope. So.
Yep, but both Steve and Bill are happy to help.
I was going to say, Bill...
Okay. Though they had been told to go, they had, heard the explosion and came back.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'll tell them that we have Jessie. We're just going to drag her up now because I believe she's alive. Okay. Or he's alive. Do we know it's a he or she?
Jesse. I'm presuming Jesse is a he.
And the whole time we've been saying Jesse, I've been had Jesse's girl stuck in my head. So.
Yeah.
Oh, don't you start. I just had that in my head.
Okay, so as you're doing that one, you feel a strong set of hands grab the back of the rope and help pull.
Yep.
Turning around, you see Mr. Dev, the Deveronian you met earlier.
Yep.
He seemed to be in the area and came to help.
Yep.
He's basically doing more work than the three of you together.
He is a Deveronian. I'm pretty sure he's doing that without even realising it.
And he seems to be getting all his support people to help as he's in the area. Okay, so yes, you find yourself pulled out rather quickly.
Can I survey the site?
Where you are, you're not sure how long it's going to last.
Okay.
Because the support columns were roughly where they blew up.
Okay. So the 4 droids all blew up in the vicinity of that.
Mm-hmm.
Can I call on other sector rangers to come and assist with sealing off what I think is a crime scene?
Well, it is a crime scene, and we can have Lieutenant Sandemo and the Imperials quarter off this area for further investigation.
So Sandemo is currently in the basement of the government's house with a bunch of paperwork, so may not be able to
Explosions take precedence.
But yes, we can see if he's available to...
But yeah, it wouldn't necessarily be him, but it would be his department.
Yeah.
That would start overseeing.
That's precisely
Well, he had been transferred to your department.
Oh,
Yeah,
sure, that's
he's-
right. That's
he's
right.
our
So
department,
his
but-
old department.
But yeah, getting in contact with him and having him send out trusted people to secure the area.
I would also probably go to our commander
yes
as well,
Yes.
and to report this.
Yes.
help.
And I would try to give you or them an indication of where the droids were, because if we can find any parts, obviously that's going to be integral to our investigation.
Yeah, but as now this foundation is unsecure, we can't do any investigation.
Not yet, no.
Yeah.
I understand that. That's why we want to get it secured.
Yes, Rob?
Was it only 4 droids that the matron saw, or was there actually more?
She never counted them.
I spotted 4 droids. I exploded 4 droids. If there were more, I don't know. Can we use the general scanner at this stage to see if there's anything left around?
Well, not if you want to get out of the hole.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
But
the
if you want to
problem.
stay in the
We're
hole,
still in
you
the-
may have to roll if the whole thing comes down.
No, okay. Let's presume we're getting out of the hole.
Because you're making a lot of statements
So
about
what I
still being
mean
in
is
the hole.
once we're out of the hole.
Quite possibly, yes.
So let's just get out.
Because we already just said that Kayana had gotten out with the squib,
Okay.
and then you started making...
My brain doesn't.
All good.
Yeah.
Thank you for being patient.
Okay.
So once I'm out of the hole, I'm happy to wait.
Also, I've got your clothes to put on straight away as well with your little. So.
She didn't take much
iron.
off. She would only have taken off belt
Yeah.
and things which
It
you
was
put in the
just
car.
armor, so yeah.
Still, I'd like to respect her privacy. So, yeah. I'll hold that street around. Yep. I'm being Jed's a good bloke.
Jed hasn't taken... she hasn't taken clothes off.
It's just like a coat.
It's the equivalent of taking off her jacket, not her top.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. That's okay.
I
I'm
think
still
the
safe.
references earlier made things a bit
Having to clarify from a PG point of view, you don't need to strip off fully if you're going through things.
I just took off armor.
Yeah, it's just the bulky stuff, like the med pack, the
Armored jacket, that sort of
armored
thing.
jacket and all that crap.
If I feel there's a huge Imperial presence coming, I would like to stay in the car, Martin. If that makes sense. If I just
There's likely I would indicate to Jed that once I'm out of the hole, that we'll be locking down the site. We'll be calling both the Commandant and Imperial presence to set up a scene.
Quick question. Would it be feasible for Jed and maybe one of us to accompany the squib to the hospital? Therefore, there would be no questions as to why Jed is leaving the scene.
Yes.
Then we would do that.
So who's going to go with you?
I'm happy to go with Jed or whoever else who may want to go to the hospital with
I'm
Jed.
injured. I'll go to the
Yeah.
hospital.
I was going to suggest one of the injured people, but I couldn't remember who was injured.
I have a
Yeah,
purpose
I
of
was
going
injured.
to the hospital.
Okay, so yeah, you obviously, and you take Jed because you are injured, so you might need assistance, and Jed
Yes.
is one of our people, so that makes sense. No
Yeah,
questions should be
while
asked.
on the car back to the hospital, I just say to her, you know, bosses are not supposed to go down first. I just say to her on the way there.
Well, technically she didn't go down first, I did, but you know.
I know, but I'm just saying, just for next time.
But she did go out first
She
before
did.
setting the rest of the people out.
Yeah.
She deserves some sort of bravery medal. I will award her, nominate her for.
Though normally she would send out her subordinates before going out herself. You took
Exactly.
command of the situation, so you actually outranked her for the.
I
Purpose of
was the person on scene. She was dealing with the matron, so you know, I felt it was appropriate in that situation. There's no means to usurp power.
It's okay. She never actually wanted to be leader in the first place, so.
Yeah, it totally fits. And she's like, "Yep, fine, you go ahead and."
Yeah.
I might accidentally just pat her on the back and realise it's the place that she got hurt, and I go, "I'm sorry." So.
Sorry.
And then, but you're getting the
Sorry.
same spot.
Yep.
Are you like, Jed?
Yep. Absolutely.
Okay, so you guys are rushed off
Wow.
to the
Yep, that's awesome.
hospital by emergency
Personnel.
air vehicle.
Yep.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. You got airlifted.
Fancy. Oh,
Well,
do I have to
hey.
pay for this?
It's emergency.
Coming from an American point of view, that's a bit scary.
My brother had to be airlifted once. It was $5,000.
Oof. Yeah.
It is quite expensive if you don't have
Yeah.
ambulance insurance.
Yeah, and technically, if you don't have private insurance and you don't have a pensioner type card, it's pretty expensive in Australia too.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
they will.
They'll get you.
Pun fully intended. They will chase you for that money. Because they thought Martin wasn't covered once, and boy, did they chase us. Until we finally made them realise that we were actually covered.
Do the Star Wars airlift vehicles have fancy wee lights?
They do, and they make sounds just so people get out of their way.
No
Nice.
Sirenscape sound effects for Star Wars.
I do, but I'd have to spend time looking for it.
But Mark's impression of those special lights sounds perfect.
I think it's really good.
And you have a lot of engineers coming up, showing up to
Structurally.
to structurally have a look at the site about whether or not they need to demolish it for safety reasons.
Yeah, or put it, or
Well, the other problem is that we suspect that there's probably still more suicide droids in there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the
the
other
engi-
thing.
the
So
engineers
with
can't go
these,
in
we
there
need a
until
bomb
we've
squad
got
to
the.
investigate.
yeah, with these engineers, we would definitely have
We need-
some sort of
So
experts.
Yeah, except that they've showed up. They are the experts,
Oh, okay.
and
Yeah. Alright.
They verify the structural soundness, and then we need bomb squad along
Yeah.
with them to.
and the
verify-
leader of the sector
Yeah.
rangers has left, so they're taking control of the site.
Yeah,
Is that
so they
okay?
can only just take my suggestion.
Well,
Well, technically, you're a senior sector ranger.
no, he's not.
Yeah, we both
No,
are.
he,
We've got-
No, I am.
you're a sector ranger. He's a sector ranger. She's a senior sector ranger.
Oh, okay.
So the senior
Yeah.
sector rangers left.
But aren't we
And-
the next ranking?
Yeah.
You are,
Yeah,
but
that's what I'm saying. He can take my suggestion, but he doesn't have to follow it.
Really? Oh, okay.
unless you want to take authority over the entire thing itself from them, which is their job.
No, we don't want to.
So-
I'm just a little bit worried about security, but that's okay. I just thought we were senior sector rangers, but
No, that's.
I think
me.
it's just because I'm confused, which is a regular occurrence.
It's okay.
It's okay. So yes, that they basically are getting all personnel away from the site and to the edges of the site, just in case there's any tunnels or other places underneath that have been damaged by the explosion, because they do have underground transit tubes and sewerage and all that all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And things like this can cause problems, so they're just trying to get everyone to a feel of safety. That they've even stopped the Imperial support coming in because it's not safe.
Yeah.
And for once, the Imperials listened.
So do they actually have the ability that's able to detect power at a deeper depth than the general purpose scanner?
Well, they do have the bigger scanners that they start to pull out.
They would do.
Yep.
And they also activate a bunch of service droids to go into the dangerous areas because, unlike you guys, they don't have to crawl into the spaces to scan everything.
Well, yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Only people who are low-tech like outcasts get that privilege.
And most of their droids have cables hanging off them so that they can work through dampening areas as well.
Yeah.
So it's always connected.
So we're leaving them to do their investigation, I would be guessing.
Okay, so not long after they started, a group of stormtroopers show up to provide protection for the scene. You haven't seen many stormtroopers acting out in public that often.
Mm-hmm.
They were normally left for the parades and stuff, but now they're on the street. Well, they are the military arm of the Empire.
Okay. So is there a commander for the stormtroopers?
No, they just said they've been assigned for security to make sure no one gets into the scene.
Okay.
And that anything that's brought out is identified and logged.
Yep.
And then you have emergency personnel checking you both over as you were down in the hole at the time. Making sure you haven't got any breaks, injuries, or other sort of contaminants.
I don't have any life-threatening injuries to my butt area.
You do not.
Oh darn!
I've just got a couple
Not
of
a shiny
bruises,
pie.
nothing too bad.
So they check you all over and give you a clean bill to go about your business as they look into other things. Apparently, Steve's nose is broken.
Hopefully Steve can get that tended to.
Well, he's complaining loudly about how the matron broke his nose because she wanted his phone.
I was gonna ask how we got the bloody nose in the first place. I thought it was stress.
That answers that. Yeah.
Well, he refused and she took it anyway. He was very upset about that.
I will see that the matron gives his phone back now that it's been used, and I will profusely thank Steve for lending his phone to the matron to call emergency services.
Says, you're police, aren't you? I want to press charges.
I will take that under consideration after I fully investigated the incident.
She hit my nose. It took my phone.
I assure him, I absolutely, no sarcasm, I assure him I will
Steve.
investigate this incident fully and press charges where needed.
Steve, what's more important, your nose or Jesse's life?
He thinks for a real long moment there.
Just
Well,
also
it
think
took
of
him
the
a long
paperwork
time.
you have to fill out.
Yeah, there's all this paperwork you have to fill out if it was your phone that was more important.
He still thinks for a long while. You don't think he's a quick thinker. It's still hard for him to get past the fact that his nose was broken.
If it's feasible, I will trace his phone and give it back to him at this point.
Apparently she'd already given it back to him, but he's still complaining about it.
That's fine.
I can maybe ask her why she was
As well, does your company actually have workers' compensation?
That sounds like strange words.
Yeah, no, I don't think that exists here, so... That's kind of fortunate.
Individually, it makes sense, but together, I've never heard it.
Okay, do you get paid for any injuries you suffer?
No.
Okay.
So you get paid if you shoot yourself in the foot? That sounds interesting.
No, it's not. It's more of if it's external that you weren't involved.
So if I shoot you in the foot, you get paid?
No, I shoot you.
So
That doesn't sound like compensation to me.
It'll be compensation on my behalf.
As per our leader suggested, even though she wasn't here to suggest it, I will check with the matron if they're what the circumstances around the breakages of certain appendages were, as in why did Steve's nose get broken. I won't say it in an accusing manner, I just want to find out what the facts are.
Well, she saw he had a phone. He was calling his office to let them know he was on his way out.
Right.
And she asked to use his phone. He said, no, I'm busy. Get doing stuff right now on my phone. And so she just grabbed phone, punched him in the face to shut him up, called emergency services, gave him his phone back.
Okay, alright. So I will report back to Steve that having conducted my investigations, I believe that the broken nose was purely an accident of her grabbing the phone in her hysteria of the situation, being worried that his work colleagues' lives were in danger, and having had the phone returned to him, that there's been no laws broken here.
My nose was broken.
Yes, your nose is broken, but the law was not.
My nose is broken.
I pat Steve on the back and send him off with some emergency workers to help get his nose set. And
I'm glad Jed's not there right now, because I know what Jed would do right now.
So did Bill complain about when something was dropped on his foot?
Bill doesn't talk much, he says.
Yeah, so be like Bill. Shock it.
yeah.
But my leg doesn't grow back.
Yeah, but your nose will.
Your nose will heal.
He sighs.
Look, I pat him on the nose.
We get
Martin, have you got access to
I really wish I meant that,
police
but I
sketch artist or
I
something
pat him
like
on
that?
the back, send him off with the emergency workers.
And
Thank him for being integral in helping us get through this situation. Try and make him feel like a bit of a hero. Hopefully that reassures him and he feels a bit better about himself. If not, Steve really needs to have a look at his ethics and his morals and his priority in life. But I won't tell him that because I think all those words are too big for him. I just try and reassure him that he's done a good thing here and that he's come out rather well with just a broken nose.
one of the when he finishes with that, you see one of the EMTs just reaches up and twists his nose, and you hear this loud cracking noise.
Put it back in place.
Yeah.
You know how mums talk to small boys when they injure their knees and they're like, "What a brave man you are." That's what
See, I did that to my brother's nose at a festival, so
just getting it. Oh,
yeah.
you're just like a Mandalorian warrior right there, taking that pain. And I'm hoping that just like mums to 5-year-olds, this works to make Steve feel like he's a brave boy, and that ultimately he can go to a bar and brag about this incident and make himself feel like a real hero, but ultimately leave us the hell alone.
And to help with that, the EMT also gives him a shot of pain relief, so he feels on top of the world.
Thank you, emergency worker person.
Ooh, what's this whistle? Oh, that whistle's good. I like that whistle.
Not for you, she says, and taking it from Jed.
That's funny.
No, Jed's in the hospital, so I don't get it. So don't worry.
No, but they might be giving it to Jesse.
No. I thought it was for, yeah.
No, I know where the joke came from.
Yeah.
Same place my jokes come from, where people don't quite get their origin, and you're like, I thought it was funny, but now I don't understand.
Okay, so yes, you make it to the hospital. They check you all in, and they want to check over Jed too, because Jed's there.
Jed, I'll just say I was outside, no injuries. I'm all good.
I'll say Jed is under my command. He was outside at the time. and assisted with emergency services. He doesn't need anything. He's part of my team. He stays with me.
Okay.
So I'll distract them back to me and to Jesse, and I'll say Jesse takes priority here. As
potentially Jesse has saved the lives of these orphaned children.
She says, do you have the foot? We can potentially fix it back on.
I did have the foot. Can I have handed it to emergency workers?
When he was being loaded into
I would have kept it with...
Do you spend a
did say
point?
You kept the foot.
He's being mean, because even as a first aid person,
keep in mind,
I should know that what you always do is if your
character's not a first aid person.
I've got first aid training. I spent XP on it, like, and that's why I wrote it down.
Okay.
I wrote down my XP stuffs. Hopefully here, if not in here. If I can't provide proof of my training in my journal, I will take it back and spend the destiny point. How does that sound? I promise, I don't mean that funnily. I mean that seriously, because it came up like ages ago, but I don't want to spend 45 minutes looking through all of those post-it notes.
So, Martin,
yep.
Have we got access to like a police sketch artist or something like that?
You do.
I better write that down.
Who do you... so you call up for them to come?
Basically the matron saw the person who delivered the droids.
Mm-hmm.
So be able to give it. Should be able to give a description of what he looked like.
Okay, so she's happy to do that and spend some time doing that. Once the kids are sorted out.
Yeah, we have to look for a temporary accommodation.
The Devronian is here on site assisting with the emergency. As he's somebody who is up in high places, he could potentially assist with getting temporary accommodation for the orphans. I say as I am not there.
What does Khalid do?
Okay. Well, basically, he's. So what was he doing?
He basically pulled the three of you out of the hole with the squib. He didn't say what he was doing. He was just there.
He arrived.
Okay, so we have to.
Interesting that he arrived so quickly, but alas.
But they weren't planned explosions.
Exactly.
Okay. So this area here.
Mm-hmm.
How familiar am I with this area here?
This area, not so much. It's probably one of the older areas near the center of the city. One of the few remaining original buildings that didn't get plowed down for skyscrapers. Though that may change now.
Well, I mean, they got the foundation work out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently there's some very disgruntled people in the background.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll just have to disappear for a moment.
I'm really hoping that comment wasn't directed at you.
So yeah, I guess we'll have to wait for him to come back.
So on the news, you see the explosion at the orphanage.
Yep.
As well as this whole piece done up about Captain Fabio and the orphanage taking his name in honor of his 1 year having passed this thing and doing the whole waterworks style reporting sob story.
Tragedy strikes as the orphanage is blown up days before a memorial.
Looks like it'll have to be cancelled now. That
we have an alternative site set up.
But they don't know that. But they're going into all these things about how it's most likely going to be off now, and the poor orphans, and really playing up on the fact that they've got no home, no prospects, no money coming in from this fundraising environment, and most likely all the merchandise from the the big auction have probably gone up in smoke as well. And
we're, from my knowledge, were items for auction kept at the orphanage, or are they at the?
They were all at the airfield.
Okay.
So it's this big.
It's just what the news is saying.
It's this big spiel of it. You can see picture of the orphanage from who knows when. Doesn't look very very new because the orphanage actually looks cleaner. It could be 100 years old for all you can tell. As they're showing stock orphanage footage of kids skipping past the orphanage.
Yeah.
And then just smoke as...
Is it like the like blurry videos of like kids playing, and then all the B-roll footage of like people from the waist down walking around?
Yep.
Typical news style.
And then this picture of just smoke and sirens and panic.
I would...
Which also looks like stock footage.
Yeah. It's funny. So I would like to comms. Am I like all done?
You're done with them
for my stuff. So I'd like to comms to Betty that I would like to put together a press conference. And I would like all major news outlets there, along with organizing for the matron of the orphanage to be there with me, so that we can announce that.
Where would you like to do that?
Can we do it in front of the... Where should we do it, actually? Where's a good place? If we could do it in front of the Sector Ranger building.
We can.
Yeah.
Would you like us to blow up the picture of you in there so it looks more...
No. It's not about me. It's about the children.
We can stick all the kids in the window.
Like pictures of the kids or the actual kids?
You sort of get the feeling that she just shrugs on the other end of the phone. Either or, she's happy.
We can have the kids standing alongside the matron. So I organize for...
I keep remembering all these other things that I've got when I'm looking up for where I did all my training.
I know, right?
It's like, I've got rapid recovery.
Like,
I can get up straight away if I'm unconscious. And I'm like, that's really cool. Have I used that recently?
Right.
Which is why there's times where Martin's like, you can't do that. I'm like, no, I've learnt that somewhere. And that's this stuff.
Hidden.
Yeah, it's in here somewhere. It's just not easy to find.
Yeah.
Sorry, I know I interrupted.
Okay, so yes. She says she'll arrange that. And at the site we have... I think Kayla's still busy at the moment.
Yes.
Sorting out stuff. So does Thea take charge at the...
Is someone required to take charge?
Yes,
No,
because we have a...
Yes. Let's say yes. I will confirm with you after game.
That's all good. You can look it up later and take your time.
Yeah.
So considering we're getting close to 10:30.
Yes. I will take charge.
And considering it was so late, I'm surprised you just didn't spend a destiny point.
Well, I want to spend them sparingly because I know I'm going to need them one day.
Well, they reset at the start of each session.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Well,
can they be used against us?
We're close to
They can,
the end of the
yes.
session.
I've got 2 that I can use against you.
But at the close of the session, if you don't use them, they all get reset.
Yeah.
Oh, well, why?
Go ahead and use
someone remind me of this.
I just did
That's
that.
Okay, alright. I will do that in this case. Hope it doesn't bite me in the butt in the next 5 minutes.
As long as you have one, that's all you care about because you can always use one.
Yeah.
And my role is to use the dark side points to do bad stuff.
But I still would like to confirm with you so that I've got a list of my actual training later. But I'm taking
I think that's
charge
a
at
good
this
idea.
moment.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, you're taking charge.
So what am I in for now?
They were trying to figure out what to do with the kids.
Okay, right.
Considering the matron has to look after homeless kids.
Okay, so Betty,
talk to the Devronian.
Oh,
there.
Deveroni.
Mr. Devereaux.
Mr. Devereaux, that's it. Does he remember me?
He does.
Okay.
He says you look better in that than the dress.
I tell him
Disaster does well for you.
I quite agree.
He likes his smoke and brimstone.
I thank him for helping and for getting us out, and
Always happy to help.
without too much non-subtlety, remark on how coincidental his proximity to the emergency was, and how that worked out really well for us. But I don't insinuate he should tell us anything. But you know, I've noticed that this is a very good coincidence. I'm not doing.
I walk the
words
city
well.
streets most days.
Yeah.
And the orphanage is fairly close, has good sun.
Well, this is also good to know. And I presume that with our history with him, we know that he's a for the people type guy. So I don't doubt his reasons for being in the area.
He can probably arrange some emergency accommodations for them.
That's where I'm getting around to. I'm like, is there somewhere that we can help? You guys can help with putting up these children. I also flag with him that although it's probably a low security risk, that people have already tried to blow up the school, the orphanage, sorry, and didn't really care about the kids. So these kids may be a continued target for whoever's decided to blow up the orphanage.
He says, "Don't tell me Saw Gerrera again."
I won't tell you that you're wrong. I have nothing to confirm that you are right at
Someone
this
really
stage.
must, teach that guy a little more decency, he says.
Particularly when it comes to kids, yes. So if you could, if you need any assistance in making sure that there's some sort of security, I'm happy to coordinate with you to organise that. But I think wherever they go, there needs to be some level of security just to maintain their safety, just in case certain activists are determined to use them as an example for their cause.
Yeah. He'll contact the governor and make sure that all the paperwork's sorted out, so
Yep.
there's no problem.
And if they need any help coordinating that at all, I'm happy to contribute or send my recruits around. Just if any assistance at all is required.
Extra hands always good to round up kids. They sort of wander off in all odd directions very quickly.
I will then get. I have 20 brand new recruits. I will get whichever ones of them are available and send them over to them.
Okay.
As soon as I can make that happen.
He says done, and with that we'll end up finishing tonight. 'cause-
Before
Okay,
he
cool.
goes, provided that it's not culturally bad, I'll take both his hands and thank him, and express the thanks of my entire squad. Would that be what we're called?
That would be good.
Group, people, party?
And him walking the streets is how you've met him multiple times.
Yeah.
So it's not unusual from that perspective.
No, I don't suspect him in any way. I just want him to understand that we appreciate that he's there and that he helped us. Because I'm certain with Kayana and the Squibs injuries, and as well as our other members, even though they were less injured, I really do appreciate the speed with which he responded and helped get them to aid.
Before we end, I also will note that when the squib regains consciousness, I'm going to question him.
Yes. Maybe Jed could be put on guard there.
On the bright side, they say they think they can reattach the foot.
Yay!
That would be also cool. And I will also put a call through to B1 and say that I want at least 5 of our recruits, if they can be can he send 5 of the recruits over to wherever the Devronian is? And hopefully B1 doesn't argue with me, but if he does, I'll ask really, really nicely.
Well, you had other recruits back at the station.
Oh, did we?
Said,
Well,
yes.
I'll send them instead because, I don't need B1 sticking a shock collar on me right now.
Yeah, so
Okay.
you'll essentially have.
You had 20 all up.
Okay, so I did you say we had some on site, or that was all Imperial?
You had some
They'll be
that you'd
pulling
sent
doubles
to
to
the
do
airfield.
security.
Yeah.
You'd sent some to the airfield. You're going to use some for the security of the benefit,
Yeah.
but none have been brought to the orphanage at this stage.
Okay, so I'll send, say, 5 if we've got them over to the Devaronian, with making sure that the children are safe for the moment.
Okay, so that's a good point to end.
Yep.
Having lots of things happening at the same time.
Huge amounts of stuff. I haven't even processed it all yet, including shooting all those droids.
But hey, you got to shoot things.
Yay!
I got to shoot things, and I did not die.
And you hit everything you shot.
It's pretty
Yeah.
surprising.
You know, I'm going to watch this later. I'm going to like, so what part of the Twilight Zone was I in?
So thank you,
I'm
Ross.
being mean, but Mark,
Yep.
Thank you.
Fortunately, Mark has left us being tired.
That's all good.
So hopefully things are all good on your end as well.
Oh, it's just gremlins in the printer.
Yeah.
Yes, it's enough to swear at, I'm sure.
Yeah, Martin swears at WordPress like every 5 seconds when he's working in it.
So that's
So.
because WordPress is WordPress.
Yay, Chrome, Google, yay. Not.
Yeah, well, it decided to wipe out all my tabs on Chrome, so I had no idea what the 60 pages I had open were.
Let's just put it this way, Chrome fucking sucks. Shit, we're still recording.
we are still recording.
Sorry.
It's not exactly PG, but I do
all
understand that. So, I will call it a night,
Yep.
and we have Shadowrun on tomorrow night.
Yay!
Will you be there for that, Ross?
Yes, I will be.
Okay, so we'll see you then.
Yep.
Is there
see you
anyone
tomorrow.
still alive in the Shadowrun party now?
No one's died yet.
No, that's Pathfinder. I
That's
keep confusing them.
Pathfinder,
Sorry.
Okay, so good night.
Good night. Good night, Ross. Thank you.
See ya.
Thank you to Mark.